When one human being says to me, call me they, them, I laugh. It's absurd. There's one of them.
How can you not understand what he's saying there? He's saying, it's absurd for me to call you they, them because there's only one of you. But because he's referring to this person who haven't specified their gender yet, as an individual, we are saying there's one of them. There's one of them. But he's using them as a singular. But the whole point that he's trying to make is that they, them cannot be used for a singular. Oh God, this is going to be so pathetic, isn't it, Piers? He's going to make it all about woke shit, isn't he? What are the prompts? I should find the prompts. Not so erudite. Yeah, I saw she was on it. I knew that. Masculinity has never been toxic. Woke ideology is anti-liberal and fascistic. Ooh. Gender-neutral pronouns are pointless. Cancel culture is real and a serious threat to free speech. Woke politics are a distraction from our common enemy, the billionaire class. Oh, that's the liberal claim. Okay. Oh, God. Nice.
You know,
the wokies are around me. Stop talking,
in a
Parker.
positive way.
Hey, there's Parker.
A participation trophy is not being there.
Advantage is so annoying. Look,
Have you been on your own show?
Parker.
You interrupted me the whole time, and now you're just getting the same thing.
So me
Order
telling
people to
you
do it.
that you are spreading misinformation, that is not fascism. That is just me telling you you're
Z
wrong.
was there too.
but you're not telling me I'm wrong because I'm right. Hi, I'm Piers Morgan, and I'm the host of Piers Morgan Uncensored on YouTube. I'm also the author of a new book.
Wait, did I watch this? Why do I feel like I've watched this? Was this out when I was on stream? I think I said I wasn't going to watch it because it was Jubilee, but now I'm just like, fuck, let's do it. Let's get involved. Okay.
Woke is dead, and today I'm surrounded by 20 apparently.
Yeah, I know. Z is the girl who got cancelled for microaggressions. I'm very aware. You did. Maybe I started watching and then decided not to go further? Let's go.
Still alive, woke liberals. My first surrounded claim is that masculinity has never been toxic.
Okay. Come on.
1 second. How do you do? I'm Piers.
So I guess where I want to kind of
Hey,
start
it's
is
Kyla.
talking about masculinity. So I view this, do you think that this is like socially emergent, I imagine, to some degree?
Well, I think the truth about
He has
the
no idea what that means. What?
whole toxic debate about masculinity is it's a completely new phenomenon. Before, about 30 years ago, nobody ever used that phrase. It's only really in the last 10 years it's suddenly been amplified and used for absolutely everything. So I thought it might be useful to just start with something that Chris Williamson, you may know him, great guy, and he came on my show recently. And he said that all the following things have been blamed on toxic masculinity in the media in the last year and a half. Gang violence, climate change, the financial crisis, Brexit, the election of Donald Trump, not wearing a face mask, eating meat, physical fitness, fast food, capitalism, communism.
Who are these people? Is this just where you pick, like, at best, some fucking weird niche academic? Also, gang violence is absolutely part of toxic masculinity. What the fuck? What else would that be? What do you think gangs do? Gangs literally are like, yeah, we're going to fuck this boy into a man. What the fuck? That's not made up.
Hip hop, smelling of Axe body spray,
Wow.
being stoic, risk-taking, religion,
BuzzFeed articles,
but also
based.
secularism and atheism, playing board games.
Also, please just don't talk about gang violence in a public event. You stop doing it. It just makes me really uneasy.
Being interested in cars and saying hello or have a nice day. So I have already committed at least one crime because I've already said hello to you.
That's
so
true.
my point being,
I'm actually really offended
it's
by
become
that
this.
too.
Sorry?
So I'm actually very offended by that too.
I think the point I would make is, I think in a time when young men in particular, I've got 3 sons from 32 to 24. I think we've got to a weird place where they feel like they are the most downtrodden, picked upon people in society, with good reason in many cases. And a lot of it is down to this, where they don't know what masculinity is. My argument is, I don't think it's ever been toxic. What's happened is you have men behaving badly, but you also have women behaving badly, and no one calls that toxic femininity.
They absolutely do. What are you talking about? Toxic femininity is absolutely a concept. Like, what? How has he never heard of toxic femininity? What the? Okay.
Well, I
Over
call
to
it,
you.
I actually do call it toxic femininity. I think when
You
you
do?
look at
Whoa,
I do.
pick me.
When you look at like gender studies and philosophy on this, right?
Sorry,
we
I'm
use this
joking.
term called masculinities and femininities because we understand that like the like samurai era of masculinity looks very different than maybe the knights of the round table and whatnot. So we understand that masculinity has somewhat morphed and shifted. And in every form of these masculinities or femininities, there are unhealthy elements to each of them. Could you grant me that?
Well, it depends what you mean. I mean, what do you think masculinity is?
In our society, I think masculinity.
No, not in your society. Just generally, what is it?
Yeah, in North America, we would broadly view it as.
It's a fluid term. What are we talking about? Masculinity is just whatever any given culture or society values in or expects of men in general, like what they value and obviously what kind of behaviors they exclude. What?
Like,
Well, hang on, you can't just say North America. Masculinity is a thing. It's not like territory.
It's what does he mean? It's not territory or time specific. Of course, it fucking is. What are you talking about? What? Is there some kind of like universal? Is it in our genes? What are we talking about? You dissect a person and you find the masculinity in them. What? It's not objective. Yeah, it's a social. Well. Whoa! Don't say that word in front of Piers Morgan. That's too woke.
Specific. It has become that way with the toxic element.
Well-
but actual masculinity, when it was first devised
you
as a
think that-
word, it's not an American thing. It's a global thing.
do you think that Athenian masculinity and Spartan masculinity were the same in the Greeks?
I think masculinity has never changed. All that's changed is the
Why would you-
interpretation of it. And what I can't abide is this modern phenomenon that everything
Dude.
about masculinity, everything about being a man, which I am currently identifying as, everything about me is supposedly toxic.
Man, I'm already. Oh God, I'm already melting.
So I would reject the idea that everything that masculinity is toxic. I think that there can be bad elements of anything.
What
But
do you like about men?
what do I like about
Yeah.
men? Lots of things. I think that
Men.
like the idea of protectionism is good. I think the like willingness to kind of like self-sacrifice is very tied to the version of masculinity we have. I think that that's a very good thing. I think the like desire to provide is also a really good thing.
Sacrifice and provide. I like it when they break their gay man backs, so I can buy. Yes, that's what she's talking about. What a toxic queen.
And stand up for like principles
Get her,
and
Piers.
strength. I think all
Tear
of
her
these
to
things
shreds.
are
Agree
wonderful
then.
things. Well, the
Do
issue.
you like men to be hunters, providers, protectors?
I don't really care about them being hunters.
Really? Well, how are they going to get all these things to help you and protect you?
In this economy,
In this. Why wouldn't you want your man to be a hunter? I don't know, because masculinity changes, dipshit. Because now it probably serves them better to be good at fucking maths than it does to be a hunter, Pierce. Or to be an e-clown. That actually pays quite well. Huh. How do you square that? That you could be the most flamboyant, attention-seeking, immature, dipshit fucking YouTuber, internet character, and that can actually make you a lot of money and make you a really good provider. Are you being masculine in that sense or not? Well, it's not. Well, you're just engaging in an unmanly job to do a manly function. Oh, okay. Well, am I not also being stoic by absorbing the fucking blow to my pride for doing such an effeminate role for my money that's actually overwriting that lack of masculinity? Okay, so it's two masculinities for one cringe. Okay.
I'd prefer them just to be like fiscally
But
capable.
I'm still in the net negative because I can't hunt a cow.
Let's go back to the Athenians.
fair enough.
Let's go back to.
He's like, fair enough. He's figuring this out for the first time.
Protectors?
I don't really care about them being hunters.
Really? Well, how are they going to get all these things to help you and protect you?
In this economy, I'd prefer them just to be like fiscally capable. Let's go back to the Athenians.
fair enough.
Let's go back to Athenians and Spartans.
I've
though,
never
right?
thought of that before.
If you want to say masculinity has always been the same, well, the issue is history would disagree with you, right? In Athens, for example, it was completely normal for you to participate in civility and talk and do philosophy. But Spartan men, for example, wouldn't even touch coins, right? They viewed it as a very different thing. Whereas
What's
if you
that got to do with them being masculine?
well, because the version of masculinity that they had viewed certain things like commerce as feminine. If you go to
Yeah,
samurais,
they did.
they viewed poetry as masculine. Whereas if you go to like Victorian era, poetry is often associated with
Right,
femininity.
okay, but what does has any of that got to do with toxic masculinity?
Because if we look at masculinity, we have to acknowledge that it is emergent out of a society that we are participating in. When
We
I
live
said
in a
it, well, in
society.
North America,
You gotta talk more plain to this man. Okay, you gotta talk plain. You gotta talk tea and biscuits, bro. Also, what is this question? Masculinity has never been toxic. You would never phrase a question in this way. You never phrase a prompt in this way. It's like saying relationships have never been toxic. It's like, I mean, obviously some of them are, and some of them always have. But would you? Why would you phrase it in this way? Because he wants to assume that all of the bad things that men do, even if they are so clearly tied to masculinity, like insecurity, obsession with pride, obsession with strength, fucking being possessive, like overly possessive around women, all these things that are kind of like exaggerations of good things about men or things that are maybe more neutral about men, that would all come under masculinity. But he can't do that. He can't imagine that, because that would be that. Well, that's just something else. You know, that's actually that. I think that's actually not manly. Well, really. So I think this over exaggeration of a masculine trait is not manly anymore. As in, like, it's just like all the good things, all the good things are manly, but all the bad things, they're something else.
Rejected that and I go, well, that's the foundational piece of this. What we're talking about, toxic masculinity, is essentially a North American version of masculinity that we seem to not like.
Well, no, it's not. It's a symptom of, and forgive my phraseology
Woke.
here, but it's a symptom of weak, whiny, woke wastrels who've decided they're going
Yes.
to revise what masculinity
Get
is.
'em.
I think it's
They're gonna
intergenerational trauma.
Hang on. I'll give you a chance to respond. And they're going to make all men feel terrible. They're going to make men hate themselves. They're going to make everybody else hate men. And at that point, I'm like, what are you doing here? Why would women, for example, want their men to be weak, whiny, woke wastrels?
Well, I think the issue that you're neglecting here is the high levels of intergenerational trauma amongst men. I mean, if we go back to World War II, it's followed by the Vietnam War, right? We see men dying by the thousands, and then they come back and they have PTSD, and then they go off again and die by the thousands. And so when we look at like the lack of masculinity and masculine role models, we have to understand this through a lens of understanding that like men have been like scooped out and killed over and over, and then when they come back, they're destroyed. And there isn't really an answer for men. I agree that there's the systemic lacking of answer on the left for men in a lot of ways. The issue is that we can't address
I think the left hate
problem.
men. I mean,
Just to pause you.
They do.
He's just is this entire Ghibli? It's going to be. I don't know why I'm asking it as a rhetorical question. This entire thing is going to be a struggle session for Piers and the people who annoy him on Twitter, or the people in fucking probably who maybe got a little bit too much prominence in British media, like Novara and shit. Like, that's all. It's just a struggle session for him to wrestle his fucking woke Twitter demons. God.
No, even movies like Barbie.
I'm left.
Okay, here's a little secret for you.
Wow.
I'm slightly left. I'm an old-fashioned liberal.
Do you hate men?
I'm not a. You see, they all think probably I'm a right-wing heckbanger. I'm not. I'm an old-fashioned liberal. I believe in liberalism, and I believe there's nothing wrong with being feminine or masculine. I hate the way.
Yeah, what the fuck was wrong with, bro? If Barbie offended you, you were a weak man. I'm sorry. What the fuck? What? How? How? How?
That masculinity has been tarred with this brush of everything about it is toxic.
I agree. But the issue is that you
No
can't...
one's saying everything about it is toxic. And if they are, just don't listen to them. Just have a serious discussion with normal people. Or if they are, why are you making... Even if you want to fucking fight with those people who think all masculinity and all gender roles are toxic, wait for one of them to come to the desk and just talk to this person who's clearly got a different opinion on their terms. Like, come on.
Throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have to look at things like Victorian Stoicism and recognize how that has harmed young men because
Stoicism? Don't be ridiculous.
Victorian Stoicism. Is he allergic to fucking descriptors?
Victorian Stoicism, not Greek, not Greco-Stoicism.
Stoicism generally is a good trait.
I love
does he even know what? Does he even know what Victorian Stoicism is? He's not gonna. Should you not ask her what she's talking about? God.
Stoicism, Hellenistic Stoicism, not Greek.
Well, let me read you something. You've raised Stoicism. The American Psychological Association released a set of guidelines to help psychologists work with men and boys, in which it stated that male masculine traits like stoicism, competitiveness, achievement, eschewal of the appearance of weakness, adventure, and risk should all be discarded.
Should all be discarded. Am I going to look at the APA and find out that that guideline is not actually as he's just described it? Very curious. Where is it? What does it say here? They've got a corrector here. Components of traditional masculinity, such as emotional stoicism, homophobia, not showing vulnerability, self-reliance, and competitiveness, might deter them from forming close relationships with male peers. Might deter them. Might. What did... Component, is this it here? APA guidelines for psychological... This is for like a few... Let's see. Traditional. It's here, right? Application. This is the guidelines for psychological practice with boys and men. Psychologists can discuss with boys and men the messages they have received about withholding affection from other males. Context. Let's get context. Application. Okay. Psychologists strive to promote healthy, intimate relationships in boys and men, where healthy... This isn't manly enough. Hang on. Okay. Psychologists strive to promote healthy, intimate relationships in boys and men, where healthy relationships are defined and characterized by respect, emotional intimacy, and sharing, and mutuality. Recognizing the primacy of early human attachments, psychologists attempt to help parents form close bonds with their sons through teaching parents about the developmental needs of boys to respond to boys in a nurturing manner, and to foster a healthy separation and individual process with their sons. Further, psychologists recognize how issues of language acquisition, family intergenerational conflict, conflictual values between culture of origin and the United States, and differences in acculturation compared with parents and elders may be present for first-generation boys and men. Wow. Providing an affirmative and caring environment where clients can explore the intersecting influence of masculinities and race, sexual orientation, and class on behavior is significant to resolving mental health difficulties for sexual and gender minorities. Effective clinical care may benefit from examination of the client's and clinician's own binary notions of gender identity as tied to biology, as well as developing insight into how to avoid pathologizing clinical language. Psychologists strive to promote a variety of methods and to promote development of male-to-male relationships. Toward addressing this goal, psychologists recognize and challenge socialization pressures on boys and men to be hyper-competitive and hyper-aggressive with one another to help boys and men develop healthy same-sex friendships. Interactive all-male groups, self-help books, and educational videos may be helpful or utilized. Psychologists also strive to create psycho-educational classes and workshops designed to promote gender empathy, respectful behavior, and communication skills that enhance cross-sex friendships and to raise awareness about and solutions for problematic behaviors such as sexual harassment that deter cross-sex friendships. Psychologists can discuss with boys and men the messages they have received about withholding affection from other males to help them understand how components of traditional masculinity, such as emotional stoicism, homophobia, not showing vulnerability, self-reliance, and competitiveness, might deter them from forming close relationships with male peers. In that vein, psychologists strive to develop in boys and men a greater understanding of the diverse and healthy ways that they can demonstrate their masculinities in relationships. In that vein, psychologists strive to develop in boys and men a greater understanding of the diverse and healthy ways that they can demonstrate their masculinities in relationships. That's crazy. Wow. Almost as if there are diverse and healthy ways to demonstrate your keyword masculinity. So whoever gave, I'm guessing Piers saw some fucking infographic on Twitter that would have disguised that part and just completely fucking ignored it. He probably never even saw it. He probably never even saw this part. He probably just saw this. With an ellipses at might. Fuck. Fuck me. Alright. Wow. Cock and balls. Grumble grumble. Cooking outdoors. Your wife.
I would categorize all of those things as the very best of being a real man. Why would you want them discarded?
I don't want most of those things. Let's talk about Stoicism.
And I think we agree with each other. I think you agree with me too much. Anyway, it's lovely to meet you. Thank you. Okay.
Wow, he's so fucking fragile. I don't know. He's such a fragile man that he's just put up this prompt that someone comes and they're like, oh, I think masculinity doesn't have to be toxic. And he's like, oh, so we agree. He's just there not to lose with his fucking prompt. God. Come on, get us a soy lord. Yes, pink
Ceci,
hair.
nice to meet you.
Pink hair.
Okay. First, I want to say that I don't think that masculinity is toxic.
Great.
I just think
Debate
that
over.
some
Oh my God! Why wouldn't you just put a prompt that can actually just clearly explore where the disagreement is? Fuck me.
men
Hang on,
use their.
hang on.
He saw pink hair and he's like, please say that all men are shit and rapists and pedophiles. Please just say that. Please just say all men are like fucking bastards that need to get fucking sterilized and put in a cage. Please. Because otherwise, I'm not interested in this discussion. Otherwise, it's not content. That's his inner monologue right now. I can see it.
Debate over.
No, it's
That's
not.
the whole point
the
of my
problem
argument. I agree
is,
with you.
No, because you're talking about a trait, right? So I don't think masculinity is toxic. I think men use their masculinity in toxic ways or hide other traits that are toxic behind their masculinity.
Okay, I don't agree with that. Here's why.
Why?
They're not using their masculinity. They're just being bad people.
Okay.
So
but
I think there's a clear difference.
So then men like Andrew Tate, when they are bad people, but
Yeah.
then stand like, I'm a protector, I'm a provider,
Yeah.
they're using their masculinity
I've
as
interviewed
guise.
I've interviewed Andrew Tate.
Jay, thanks for the tier 2 sub. Marcus, thanks for the tier 3. Please change the name to True Masculinity Stream. True. Persephone, thanks for the $4.99. Sorry, I was reading out the stupid fucking 4 numbers next to your name. Thanks for the $4.99. Never seen Loner have an L take. True. Only sycophants in this audience, please. Thank you. Terminal Sanity, thanks for the $5. By the way, 95% sure Trump had a stroke during those 5 days he disappeared at the end of September. He's been sagging and slumping a bit on his right side ever since. Okay, well, unless you're Dr. House, I don't give a fuck about your opinion on what you've seen on the television, body language. He said the name wrong. What name? What?
A number of times. Here's what I think about him. I think he says a lot of things which young men.
How do I say that name? I don't know. Is that even is that even a word? I thought it was just a made up word. Who is this person? They haven't contributed any messages to the stream. Okay.
Gravitate to because very few other people are trying to empower them about the way they look.
Purse phone. Okay.
Hang on.
No, I'm not.
Let me finish my sentence.
I can have a facial reaction to you if I want
Paris phony. Like Hermione. Shut the fuck up.
to, right?
Actually,
Get out of
that's
my
fair
way.
enough.
Stop.
Right.
Leave me
You
alone.
can look.
Give me money. Fuck off. You guys are not helpful. Help me in the one way. There's only one way you guys can help me, okay? You can like the stream. It doesn't cost you anything. Or money. Otherwise, what the fuck?
Horrified.
Persephone.
But here's the point about.
What does it mean? Hang on. A Greek goddess who is both the queen of the underworld and the goddess of springtime and grain. Okay. Why are you queen of the underworld but also queen of fucking grain and what? Hades' wife. Why does she get to be the okay? I get the underworld thing, but you don't get to be both. You can't have your cake and eat. That's toxic femininity. Did you not watch Hercules cartoons during childhood? I mean, I saw the Disney film. Will I be a masculine man if I send you money? Yeah, you're a provider. And I'm feminine, so it's basically like caretaker of the dead. I can save her. I can save her. All right. Something new.
Andrew Tate is a lot of the things he says. I know why they resonate with young men because young men feel sort of worthless. They feel disenfranchised by society. They're not sure where to go. Many of them lack father figures. There's chest beating Andrew Tate saying, keep fit, don't abuse yourself too much.
Just women.
Well, I'm going to come to that. And so he says all these things which men go, yeah, that's good. And aspire to be great, aspire to be successful, do this, work hard and all this. And then you get to his blatant misogyny. Right, he is a terrible misogynist. He thinks that women should be left at home, never allowed to vote,
I know who he is,
never
yeah.
allowed to work. I know, but
Isn't that just like a toxic masculinity in the same way that relationships are not inherently bad, but there can be toxic relationships, Piers? Is he's literally so sensitive that you can't have toxic expressions of masculinity and call it toxic masculinity because Piers will just think that you're calling all men rapists. It's just sensitivity. He's just delicate.
My point is, I agree with you about that trait of his, right? I think it's horrible, but that's not toxic masculinity. That is actually misogyny. There's a word for it.
I guess the reason, but I think that all of this was fueled by people like Andrew Tate, because like you said, toxic masculinity, we've never spoke about this before, but I think the reason it's on the table now is because of men like Andrew Tate. It's not because of women calling men
So call
toxic.
it what it is. Call him a
literally
misogynist.
because red pill podcasters, especially during the pandemic, if you were already a loner, you became even more alone, so they needed a community. So everyone's living...
What? Wow. If you guys want to see toxic behavior, okay, I'll give you a good example. I'll maybe give them some prompts. There's someone in chat called Celtic Girl saying, this guy is so obnoxious. This person just appears in my channel every week or two just to either put something in the comment section, and it is just every time it's just a different attack on like my demeanor as a person. It's so fucking weird. This person just comes in, says I'm annoying, and then leaves. And like in several comment sections as well. It's so strange. Very toxic.
Life online in these, what they thought was a community, because all these men did was validate their shitty feelings that they already had about themselves.
Yes, but
it was an echo chamber, and they have to keep them sad and angry, tell them to place the blame on women and minorities so that they get their pockets filled.
But here's the thing.
They monetized
Am I allowed to get a
insecurities
word
and
in?
trauma. You can have your facial reactions.
Time out.
Go ahead.
Politely.
Go ahead.
I think what you're talking about is misogyny. There's already a word for that. It's not toxic masculinity. That's the point of my argument. I don't think masculinity has ever been toxic. I do think some men are horrible misogynists
But do you think
and should
some
be
of them
called
hide
out,
behind
as
it?
I call them
mean,
out.
Don't you think some men hide behind their masculinity? Like, I'm sick of hearing men say, we have to protect and provide.
Why shouldn't we?
Well, no. But the thing is half of you, what are you going to protect me from? Another man. And half of them can't hunt down a job. Like, I don't...
Or other women.
Or other women, sure, yeah, other people. But that's the thing I'm saying is that men, I don't understand why. I feel like a lot of blame gets placed on women for all of this, but in reality, you've done it to each other.
I don't blame women.
You've done it to each other.
I don't blame women for any of this. I think that...
I feel like they're doing it now.
Gathering to provide for my streamer's Greek goddess name pronunciation fund.
Every question that gets asked, this guy Lonerbox sneers. He is the only person who can answer the question, or the only one who understands the issue. His whole modus is sneering, laughing, cursing. What is this, if not a sneer? Who the fuck are you? What are you doing here? What are you getting out of this? This is my job. Yeah, generally, as a streamer, you've got the streamer and you've got the audience. And usually, the audience is here to listen to the streamer. Not always. I sometimes listen to the audience with the chat. But yeah, I would imagine that I'm going to give my opinion because people are here to hear my opinion and to hear my reactions and to hear my thoughts on things. There's literally a guy whose catchphrase in this community is to say, what's your thoughts on politics? Fucking spider. What are you doing here? What the fuck?
Well, actually, that's not completely true. I blame some women who have deliberately, in my opinion, like a lot of men have done too, taken the word masculinity and they have traduced it into meaning something it was never intended to mean. Like I said, those words, which the American Psychological Association have deemed unacceptable and should be discarded, are all the absolute foundation of what I believe it takes to be a man.
Oh, damn it. I wanted
just
that.
when we were getting to know each other.
Pick me for the last 10. I got a lot to say.
I'll think about it.
Well, hey, good one.
How are you?
Uh-oh, it's Parker.
What's your name?
Parker.
Parker, I'm Piers.
Parker's
I'm on your show, bro.
Parker's gonna get him in so many contradictions now. He's gonna make Piers feel so wrangled. Shit.
Yes, I thought I recognized you.
Get him.
When was that?
Tear him to shreds.
After the Jordan Peterson Jubilee debate.
Yes, that's right, you
Yeah,
did.
he has quoted us as gaytheists on Twitter.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's go.
Okay. How'd you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I think it was ridiculous. I'm literally straight, but
Oh, you're straight?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then I can understand why you'd find that annoying.
I don't find it annoying. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to use that as an argument. But in
I
general,
will not call you a gaytheist.
okay. In general, the point that
I just, man, I wish someone had thought of that in when I was in school. Because everyone was calling everyone gay as fuck, and you're like, I don't understand why you're saying that because I'm straight, I'm heterosexual. And then the other guy's like, oh fuck, suppose when you say that, I'm inclined to agree with you.
I would make here is that
Oh, you're my bad. Sorry, bub. Sorry, mate. Okay, you're still an asshole though. Yeah, okay. No, I think it's interesting you say that because I'm actually not an asshole. Rather, I possess one. Oh, fuck. Shit, what do I call this guy? You're a dickhead. Oh, no, wait. No, wait. I'm not walking into that one, okay? Caught that one. Caught that one before you even had a chance.
Toxic masculinity is kind of an overexpression of certain masculine traits that we see in this certain context to be harmful. We're not saying all masculine traits are harmful or it's harmful to be a masculine man. It's certain characteristics that we would associate with masculinity.
Which trait do you think is harmful?
Yeah, like for example, an overexpression of Stoicism. And I think that a lot of red pill people...
What?
Wait, hold up, let me explain. I said an overexpression
How
of
can
Stoicism.
Stoicism ever
Be overexpressed?
Ever be a bad thing? Explain.
Like going through trauma and not sharing your feelings. And letting it build up and just carrying it like emotional baggage for the rest of your life? What are you talking about?
Yeah, so again, if you were to specifically hide your feelings and put them underneath specifically for like, say, the death of a loved one.
But that's not stoicism. That's just stubbornness. They're very different. They're very different. That's just not a bad expression of someone thinking they need to be stoic. That's a different thing completely because stoicism can only be good, Piers.
I think that would be harmful, I mean positive specifically for you addressing your feelings in that circumstance. I think you should address those feelings, talk about them, express them to loved ones and people that are comfortable, you're comfortable around.
That doesn't mean you can't still be stoic.
Well, then what do you mean by stoicism? Because I'm talking about an overexpression of keeping down your emotions and not expressing them.
No, that's
and
not
like
what stoicism
actively,
No.
positively addressing them.
That could never overlap with that kind of behavior.
Stoicism doesn't mean you have to be an sort of unemotional, Spock from Star Trek. That's not what it means at all. Stoicism means that when you're dealt a tough blow in life, you're able to reach inside yourself and deal with it in a strong manner, right? Which is a good thing.
According to the Cambridge Dictionary, Stoicism means the quality of experiencing pain or trouble without complaining or showing your emotions. I love it that so Pierce's entire strategy here is to redefine every aspect of masculinity to a point that it cannot be excessive. It can't be bad.
I always quote to my kids, they can all tell you the speech off by heart. There's a scene in my favorite films were the Rocky movies. The first four were great. The fifth one was a turkey. The sixth one came back called Rocky Balboa. And in it, Rocky's son's in his 20s. He's a spoiled brat. He hates being Rocky's son. He's whining about everything. Yeah. He's kind of pretty woke, weak, whiny, moaning about his lot in life, telling him, woe is me all the time. So Rocky eventually has it out with his son in the street. And he says, look, life is tough. It will beat you down and it will keep you down if you let it. If you want to win at life, you've got to learn it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit, get back up and keep.
No, of course, Piers doesn't understand that word. LOL. Lonerbox does, though. What? Do you understand that, like, Celtic, you're literally doing the same thing that you accuse me of doing, right? Like, you're watching me getting fucking triggered and then just saying something snarky about it. You realize that I don't know what's going on. What's this project? Is that why you're here? Because you're taking it out and you're taking it out on me? What the fuck? What are you doing?
Keep moving forward. No, that's how winning is done.
No one's arguing against that in general.
So that's
right?
stoic, but that is
this guy just says something negative every time he hears something that he doesn't agree with. Yeah? Is that a fact? What the fuck is this then? Fuck.
Saying,
that is stoicism.
So, but you're misunderstanding my argument. I'm saying an overexpression of watering down and not addressing your emotions. I think we both agree that would be a bad expression of your emotions. And oftentimes men view it that way because they say if you address your emotions to any degree, there's going to be, don't be a man, don't cry, be a man. So that's an idea of an overexpression of masculinity in that sense that becomes toxic.
So you say
does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And so you
say so that you agree toxic masculinity makes sense.
No. That's not what I'm saying. So you would find it objectionable to use the phrase "man up," for example.
In the context in which like someone is having a positive address of their like particular emotions, and in typical, I wouldn't use into like that type of phrase. You'd say maybe you should address your emotions in a more positive way. Maybe you should go to therapy. A lot of people should do that. Like men should go to therapy. It's an important thing that they should do.
Maybe
and that would be positive for their life.
I've never been to therapy in my life.
You know what a good example is? A good example of this is what's that film? Analyze This, right? Robert De Niro when he's the gangster who has panic attacks, and he goes to a therapist, but it has to be really low key because he's like a mobster. He's a mafioso. He's not allowed to be too expressive. So he has to give the therapist a warning.
Just one more thing.
Fucking volume.
Just one more thing. If I talk to you and you turn me into a fag, I'm gonna kill you. You understand?
Could we define fag? Because some feelings may come
I go
up.
fag, you die. Got it?
Got it.
Simple. Huh? You're good, Doc. You're good.
No, that's nothing to do with masculine. That's nothing to do with what he expects of himself as a man. No way.
You should.
And I don't cry all the time. I think the last time I cried was about 12 years ago when my grandmother died.
Jesus.
I just think this is overdone. We just moved from an incredibly stoic generation, say the World War II generation, who were literally sacrificing their lives for their country, but weren't crying all the time, to an era
I
now.
don't think World War, bro. What do you? It's just because you didn't see it on the fucking TV because they had no outlet. What are you talking about? World War I or World War II? Both of these times where it's like fucking teenagers having shell shock, writing poetry and shit. People in the trenches crying their fucking. What are you talking about? These people didn't cry. What the fuck? These guys had their brains turned to fucking mush sometimes.
No, wait, why are you associating what I'm saying with crying all the time or being weak?
You're the one who mentioned crying, so let me just explain what I'm talking about. I don't think it suits anybody to encourage a society to constantly be over-emotional either.
I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying you should suppress emotions, and if you feel emotions about something, I'm all for it. I can get emotional with the best of them, normally about my football team, but I don't spend all my time blubbing like a baby. And my argument with
Who said that?
well, hang on, I'm going to finish my point. I think that if you look at the woke world generally, there seems to be a premium on over-emoting and not enough of a premium, in my view, of stiff upper lip, pull yourself together and crack on. Because let me tell you, there are two things you want to worry about in life. Really worry about. I say this to my kids: dying and getting a terminal illness. Outside of those two things, everything is surmountable. You can overcome anything.
What about if your partner cheats on you?
But what you've got,
Like,
even
does it
that.
make sense? Okay, so there are plenty of examples we can give where people
Yes,
are going to have
but
like
my point is,
legitimate circumstances to cry or be sad. But like I'm asking you, like in the circumstance, give us specific what you're referencing in terms of these woke liberals of how they're being too overly emotional.
Well, you're talking to me about why you want people to be more emotional. I'm telling you, I don't think that's
No, I
necessarily
want them to express
a
it
good
in
thing.
positive manners, like go to therapy, like how I told you.
Yeah, but I think we're over-therapied. Everyone I know over here goes to therapy.
You haven't gone to therapy at all. How are you over therapy?
Why don't you come and talk to me if you want to talk to somebody? I'll soon sort you out.
Wait, I can talk to my therapist and we can
I know,
actually
but
engage
is
in
it
positive
working?
reconstruction
Is it
of.
working?
Parker and Dean get all their foreign policy from Athena. Do they really get all of their what? Like she tells them about Ukraine. She educates them on fucking Sudan. No, I did see that they were. She was obviously like their go-to on Palestine, which is very cringe because she's a Hamas supporter. I think she pretends not to be when she's talking to these guys, but fuck, that's a bit grim.
How I address things. Yes, actually, it's been very helpful for my mental health and my emotional health to be able to talk them through, to be able to like, what can I do to like make myself feel better in these circumstances? Am I being genuinely like real here, like, or am I being a little bit too overly emotional in circumstances? It's totally a question I ask my therapist all the time. Yeah, so if you want to talk about being overly emotional, or how to address being overly emotional, how about you just start with therapy? What's your solution? What's your solution?
Calm down.
I'm calm. I'm totally calm.
Triggered. You're so triggered. You're hashtag triggered, Parker. Put it on your Insta gay. Triggered. Okay, what? You're gonna cry? Fucking Piers, man. What do you sound like?
Wait, do you think me talking fast is not being like calm?
I just think you don't want me to get a word in, right? And
I wanted to finish my statement.
Right, I just think people go to therapy too much. Sorry, I do. You may not like to hear it, because I just think going and talking to some stranger about all your problems all the time, get a grip.
It's not all the time. It's every once in a while you go and talk about your problems specifically so you can address them. Do you not talk about your problems ever with anyone?
I look at Parker.
This is the problem I talked about.
Stop talking. I look at you and I see somebody who's confident. You're a good talker. You're obviously intelligent. You've obviously got a lot going for you. Stop spending all this money going to see some stranger to go over everything in agonizing detail.
It's not that much money to be able to go every once in a while to go see a therapist for me specifically in my life.
I've never been to one in my life.
It's not much money for you. You could easily go with the money that you make and go talk
again,
to.
But Parker's maybe kind of biting into the bait a little bit here because we have no idea if Piers needs a therapist or not. Not everyone needs a therapist. Like, I think probably most people would benefit from it in some way, but whatever.
Therapist.
I've no need to go
I
to a
understand you don't
therapist.
want to. Everyone says that specifically before going into it. I said the same thing. But I'm telling you, you can actually address your emotions in a positive way.
Parker,
And also,
Parker, here's what I'd rather do. I would rather, honestly, have groups of people like you in the woke world, right, who clearly are struggling with regular life, right?
I'm not struggling with
everything's
regular
a
life.
calamity, everything's a problem, has to be overanalyzed,
No one said
over-dissected,
that.
over-therapized. And I just think you've all got to be given the mental tools to deal with ordinary life. Ordinary life.
We already have them.
Ordinary
I actually have
let
gone
me
to
tell
therapy
you,
to do that.
Ordinary
Have
life.
you?
Yeah, but without going to therapy all the time.
Wait, what's your solution? What's your solution?
People, I think at school and colleges, we need to reinforce, this comes back to masculinity with men. We need to reinforce the mental tools required for life.
Such as?
Well, I can tell you when I can chart the absolute descent of this in the wrong way. And I think it began in America, when you started giving kids participation prizes for coming last to sport.
Oh my fucking God.
Absolute shambles. I mean, whoever thought of that?
How does this have to do with actually like men making their emotions better
I'm
off?
explaining.
It's participation
I'm
trophies.
explaining.
Oh my gosh.
I'm explaining because if young
Oh, no.
people
Sorry.
are conditioned to think that if you come last at something, you get a prize, it is the worst possible preparation for the real world.
So what's the actual
Because
solution?
Parker,
You're just telling a
Parker,
problem again.
do you
Problem.
I'm sorry, kids are not fucking stupid, okay? If you get everyone knows their prize is a participation prize. Everyone knows that you're getting the fucking wooden spoon, even if it looks nice or whatever. Like if there's like 12 people in a competition and you get the fucking 12th place medal, it's not like anyone there is sitting like, yeah, I got a part. Look at my fucking medal, bitch. Like it's not.
Problem. What's the solution?
Parker, if I could finish my sentence.
Start with the
The
solution.
solution is you to stop talking for a moment, right?
How about you actually provide
Right.
a solution? All
No,
you've done
Parker,
is bring about problems.
Parker, I've just given you a solution. I want
That's
more.
not a solution. That's a
Yes,
problem.
you stop participation prizes. You condition kids to deal
Clamp
with the
down
real
on
world
these
when they become
goddamn
adults.
You're
Otherwise, when
participation
they
men
prizes.
not having the ability
Stop
to dress their emotions
talking,
in a
Parker.
positive way is
Parker.
literally participation
God, no wonder
trophies not
Jordan
being there.
Peterson found you so annoying. Look,
Have you been on your own show?
Parker.
You interrupted me the whole time, and now you're just getting the same thing.
Well, because you're going to stop talking
Don't,
like
don't
a
be mad.
robot.
Don't be mad.
Parker.
Are you mad?
No, I'm trying to finish my sentence.
It's okay.
Parker.
I think I cried when I got a participation award. What? Yeah, it's fucking embarrassing if they give you a participation award. Kids are not stupid. They know this. Fuck. I don't even know if it's like, is it necessarily like a thing? People say it's like rampant. Is it really a thing where at some point everyone was like, shit, we can get the participation trophies out now? Like, really? Is everyone fucking scrambling to go and grab participation trophies now? Like it's new policy or anything? I think it might be something that some people tried because they were like, let's be nice, and it probably stuck for some folks and others it didn't. I've never heard it like, fuck.
Come on, calm down. You're shaking.
I'm totally
Hey,
calm.
Parker.
I'm not shaking at all.
Parker, you're shaking.
I'm not shaking. Why do you have to act like I'm?
here's my
Why do you have to say
point.
something
He's
delusional?
being a bit very toxic masculinity here. Oh shit. Toxic male.
Try to deflect away from the fact
Let
that
me explain.
you haven't addressed anything meaningful
Jesus
here.
Christ, Parker.
Brr.
My point is, there's a brilliant book by Jonathan Haidt about the impact of smartphones on young brains, right? And it goes back to 2010 when smartphones became smart. In other words, you could access absolutely everything. And I look at what happens on my feed each day, and I'm horrified about what may happen to younger, more impressionable brains, right? And so young people's brains have got scrambled. So since 2010, there's a direct correlation of young people who get ever more anxious, ever more depressed, in some cases, tragically, ever more suicidal. And it's been driven by this constant negative dopamine. So partly, I understand why what I call the weak, whiny, woke wastrels are like they are, because they're constantly getting overloaded with negative dopamine, which is making them think the
Just
whole...
so you guys understand, this is like the average British voter. This is what they're like. These are like their top problems, you know? The youth are too soft, immigration, and... What, is there even a fucking third one? That's it, really. It's only two. Why am I even thinking there'd be three?
world's about to end. In fact, as Steven Pinker has explained in great detail, statistically, This has never been a better time to be alive. There are fewer wars than in recorded history. People are living longer and healthier than in recorded history. There's less child poverty than in recorded history. Water is cleaner than in recorded history, etc., etc., etc.
It's so fucking stupid. People also acclimatize, and then people's expectations raise or they decline. You can't just take every fucking sad person in a wealthy country and reassure them that 1,000 years ago, people lived until they were 28 and died of the fucking plague and rolled around in shit. You can't, that's not really helpful. Like, it doesn't, that's not what we're like. It's not how, humans aren't like that.
The problem is social media amplifying all the bad stuff going on, making young people think the world's about to end. It's not. So I would like young people to be given the proper tools in their education process to enable them to deal with the real world and make them catastrophize less. I do think in this country, as in my country, young people are over-medicated. I think they go to therapy too much. I think they end up over-analyzing.
Fuck, man, I would be such a brat in this conversation. Like, it's just like, what's an acceptable amount of therapy? How would you know when societies have, when people are getting the just right amount of therapy?
And over self-obsessing. I think it can make them quite narcissistic. It's all me, 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 and woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. I think we've got to a place, oddly, in society where losing is deemed to be better than winning, where winning is something to be frowned upon. Actually better to be a good loser and get all your mates to like you going, oh my God, I just failed my driving test for the 20th time, but I'm so proud of myself. I'm like, you're a terrible driver, get better, right? So it's all about how you...
Who are these people? Who are these people? Who are these people who are like, yeah, I just failed 20 driving tests, but the guy gave me a fucking lollipop each time, and now I am 21 lollipops up on you, and all you guys have fucking shitty driving license, retard. Who's the real winner? Give me your car. Like, what the fuck? Who are these people? Jesus. I think that the entire argument behind a participation award was just that it was to try to send out the message to people, to get people to learn that you don't have to be the best. You have to try. Like, it's good to try. And that is a good lesson. Like, it's a good lesson that it's good to try. What? That trying is better than not trying. Fuck me, man. Again, people are surprised I'm saying this is the average British voter, and then all the Brits in chat are like, "Yep, this is my dad and my 3 uncles. This is my dad and all my mad uncles. They're exactly like this." Yes.
Treat these things.
He has woke derangement syndrome.
And out of it, hopefully, I would produce a nation of people like me, Parker.
I would love to be able to respond.
Perfect way to end.
I'd love to be able to respond.
And that's to see you. Good to see you. My next surrounding claim is that woke ideology is anti-liberal and fascistic.
Oh, wow.
How's it going?
How are you?
Good to meet you. My name is Evan.
Evan?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Evan.
My issue with this claim is I find associating wokeism with fascism to be quite ironic. Wokeism to me is a term that's used, a shorthand pejorative term that's used to describe left-wing cultural politics. And I think the term wokeism and people on the right often use it as a means to deflect and distract from class politics. Woo! And there's a very key example of this. So the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, this was something that you actually celebrated quite a bit when it initially came into office. Elon Musk was coming in to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. Obviously, they found 0 instances of fraud. To the extent they found waste, it was just stuff that they ideologically disagreed with. And there were all these programs they were cutting, for example, like LGBTQ
Guys
programs.
using too many big words. Oh, no. Too many big words.
In Latin America, et cetera. And we were celebrating this all as a big victory, but this was all a distraction because
just give me the bread and butter. The problem, bro.
Actually doing was
that's what Piers is
destroying the National Labor Relations Board, a board that is designed to protect workers' abilities to unionize, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, a bureau that is meant to protect consumers from billionaire capitalists like Elon Musk. These institutions, along with the IRS, all of these institutions.
We have a theory, cuck. Shut up. Also, Super Chat's goal, 21 minutes left, guys. 21 minutes in the goal. Quick. 4 more to go. 4 more. 4. Don't make me cry.
Meant to actually protect and put a check on capitalist billionaires like Elon Musk and the consolidation of fascistic power in our state. All of that was being distracted by this term wokeism. And I think that like when when you obsess over things like trans people in sports or DEI policies and XYZ, it is a deliberate means to distract from these very real issues.
Really?
Yes,
Deliberate
100%.
distraction.
Let's take-
There's nothing better than telling someone that their concerns are just them being deliberately distracted by manipulative billionaires. Oh, fuck. There's nothing better than telling this stoic male that his feelings are not valid. Oh, shit.
What you just mentioned, trans athletes in sports. Do you think it's a good idea?
No.
Not necessarily. I mean,
it either is or it isn't.
So it depends on which sport, and it depends on which
Which
but,
sport
but,
is
but,
it a good
notice,
idea?
but notice what you're doing right now, right?
You mentioned it. I didn't mention it.
Well, what I mentioned is that these are all a means to distract
And
from
I'm
the very
explaining-
real issue.
okay.
But can you at least, very least, acknowledge
Evan,
that you did celebrate Doge despite it rooting out all these institutions that actually impact Americans'
I'll
lives?
answer you. I thought that cutting government waste was a good thing.
Sure.
Do I think it was well executed? Not particularly.
So do you?
Sorry, you've got to let me finish.
Sorry, go for it.
Do I think it was well executed? Not particularly. You know, Elon left pretty quickly and the government just carried on spending a ton of money. You know, do I think some of the things they cut were wrong? Yes, I agree with you. Do I think all of them? No, I think they did find examples of waste. So, you know, if you had a proper, consistent, ongoing Doge mentality, which cut genuine things which we all can agree are probably a bit wasteful, I'd be all for it. Do I support everything they cut? No, I don't. But given you mentioned...
giving Doge a participation prize. Oh, God, I would use that joke so many times. You get a participation prize for this debate, Piers. Shit. Also, Dwayne, thanks for the $5. Really appreciate that. Flamorous, thanks for the 10. Punished Foxo, thanks for the €5. Hassan is in Ireland tomorrow. Intrusive thoughts are telling me to follow him with a Bluetooth speaker blaring the Shock My Dog song if he IRL streams. Jesus. That whole dog shock thing is really stuck, hasn't it? It's not going anywhere.
The trans thing, because I hear a lot from the woke left, and I try and say to them, look,
woke left.
if you want to know why Donald Trump got
you
re-elected, your worst nightmare coming true, and you all sit there on election day thinking, how on earth has this happened? Well, one of the reasons was he just stood there. Well, you can shake your head, but one of the reasons is he stood there and went, under me, if I get elected, then I am going to ban trans athletes from women's sport.
Than infinite public complaining in the most visible ways possible.
Yeah. Thanks for the $10.
Yeah. Well,
No.
If you wait, can I just respond?
No,
to that
I'm going
directly?
to add one thing to it, then you can
Sure.
respond. If you remember, Kamala Harris endorsed it, thought it was a good idea. So the first potential female president of the United States thought it was fair and equitable and safe that biological males compete in women's sport. Trump understood that most people in America, most people around the world, outside of the woke left, do not agree with that.
And the between Aberdeen and Kilmarnock or St Mirren and Pataudry with another 8,000 hardy souls in the depths of midwinter. Chat.
I mean, I've been there. It's been a while. Aren't Aberdeen games usually like that? I feel like Scottish football teams are just really good at getting the ball basically anywhere apart from at the back of the net. Is that not normal? But thanks for the £10. Appreciate it. Euros. Sorry. Fuck. Why are you paying in euros if you've been to Pataudry? Are you like a fucking what? Are you a migrant? Oh no, a dastardly EU migrant. Shit.
There's a reason we don't agree with it. Let me finish. The Olympics are coming here, right? To Los Angeles.
And you're also wrong about Imam Khalif, by the way. Yeah.
Well,
whoa.
I'm not wrong about Imam Khalif. Well, Imam Khalif.
There was literally no fucking evidence. It was the really fucking dumbest spectacles of public outrage I've ever seen in my fucking life. There was nothing. It was, God damn it.
Banned from the World Championships. She's an Algerian boxer. Banned from the World Championships because of testing positive for male chromosomes, right?
That's not true.
Well, it is true.
No, so
you may not want to believe
okay,
it, but it is
okay.
true.
So the International Olympic Committee said that Imam Khalif was both born female. She has a female passport. Algeria, you think Algeria, the state of Algeria, recognizes trans identity? Really, Piers? Like, let's be honest with ourselves. The only institution, the institution that claimed that she fit
Matanki with some cultures are better than others. Fuck.
An unspecified gender or sex identity.
I don't actually know if this guy's a tanky. He might just be like a standard lefty populist, whatever. He's doing well though. He's kicking the absolute shit out of Pudgy Pierce.
was some Russian-backed organization that is not internationally recognized by the International Olympic Committee. But wait,
no.
Let me reset.
Evan, you can't say something and me not challenge you back if you're wrong.
I know, but that's exactly what you did earlier. I just need to quickly get into.
All Imam Khalif has to do is take a sex test.
Sure, okay.
They're now bringing the sex test in. Then there's no problem.
Sure.
Why do you think Imam Khalif is not taking a sex test?
I don't want you to distract from the fact that the election, there is no evidence that people voted based on their opinions on trans identity.
Let me give it to you.
In a Gallup 2020.
To be fair, right-wingers probably did, right? A lot of right-wingers probably did. Razor Fringe, thanks for the... Oh, I already did that one. Jesus. One more for the goal. 15 minutes.
There is no evidence.
In a Gallup 2024 poll, post-election, out of 22 issues, trans issues ranked 22 out of 22.
Can I respond?
In every election in all OCD countries across the world,
Hey, the fact check is confirming it as well. It must be so... That's better than a participation award.
And the economy, yes, but
Evan,
I just let you go on.
Let me just respond to you.
Sure.
Actually, if you read the New York Times the week after the election,
I did read the New York Times.
Then you will remember a deep dive they did into it. Wait a minute, stop talking. You want to talk all the time.
Sorry.
Show me some respect.
Sorry.
There was a New York Times report into a particular commercial campaign ad that the Trump side put out. And they originally started it in a few sports arenas. They got bigger and bigger and bigger. And the ad was basically a 30-second mashup of Kamala Harris endorsing trans athletes in women's sport and in women's spaces and so on and so on. And it ended with Kamala is for they, them. Donald Trump is for you. The New York Times said that they believe that moved the needle, they're reporting, by as much as 3 points.
Based on what information?
Ask the New York Times.
No, that's not. You understand news agencies aren't conducting polling analysis by themselves. That same article cited the Gallup poll that I just identified where trans issues ranked 22 out of 22.
One ad moved the needle by 3 points.
And based on what information? If you poll people on what issues that they cared about in the 2024 election,
so
all of it was centered around economy and inflation. And this is just obvious because this was a global phenomenon. Every incumbent party across the world lost the election.
A lot of Democrats and people on the woke left in particular have tried to assure me that
he can't control any of these woke people, can he? He has no authority over this room. It's really funny to watch that.
Absolutely nobody cares about trans athletes in women's sport.
People care, the right cares, but your median voter cares more about what's in their pocketbook.
My question for you is,
and you're doing exactly what I claimed you were doing earlier by using wokeism to distract from class politics.
My question for you is this. I interviewed a woman called Betty Yee a couple of weeks ago on my show. She's a candidate to be governor of California, and she endorsed in my interview gender-neutral Olympics when it comes to Los Angeles. Now, that to me is where the woke mind virus takes you to complete and utter insanity. Because if there was a gender-neutral Olympics, and this woman might be governor of this state.
Does she have any control over the Olympics or the policies of the Olympics?
Wait a minute.
Is she impacting?
I'm talking about the mindset that says that actually gender-neutral. Do you agree with me? Can we reach a point of agreement that would be absurd?
I don't. You know, it depends on the sport. It depends on the sport.
She specified
some sports.
She specified track and field.
But guess what? I don't care what some.
You don't care about women losing.
No.
Wait, what the? Hang on. I am getting distracted. Maybe the your party thing is probably going to. Maybe I will care about them. What is this?
You asked yesterday about kind of policies for the country, and you said nationalise the entire economy. So just wondering, what does that look like?
That looks like a socialist transformation of the country where we nationalise utilities, we nationalise energy, we nationalise transport, we nationalise communications, including the internet, but we also have to broaden our horizons.
But not the entire economy, though.
So we have to have a socialist economy that includes workers running their workplaces through cooperatives. It means public services run for profit, not need, with, workers and users on the boards of those organisations.
Democratic ownership.
And it means the entire economy run by workers, not the billionaires and the corporations that run it today.
So that mean I'm just interested because I mean like kiosks. Like cafe, small little cafe.
Yeah, thank you, Owen. Oh God.
Kiosk, that kind of.
Workers' cooperatives.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Just seize them all. Oh God. She's fucking mental. Okay, yes, she's mental. Right, she's an absolutely fucking nutcracker. I've never people just say things about her, and I always assume it's like grumpy fucking right wingers who are just getting obsessed with like a young brown woman or whatever, because like that does happen, even if they're a little bit quirky. You know, I think a lot of the fucking hatred towards AOC is very disproportionate, right? Even if she says a couple of odd things, that's all it is. She's just not 100, but she's generally sensible. This person's fucking insane, right? This person is out of her fucking mind.
Like small little cafe kiosk. That kind of
Workers' cooperatives.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just interested because you said the entire. I'm just trying to. I think it's fascinating.
The entire economy.
He's trying to stay in her. Oh God, Owen. How? Just do that. Okay, how you do that? Right now, fucking Tim down there owns a cafe. We just. What are we doing? What's the plan? Jack.
Under the control of workers, whether that is nationalisation, workers' cooperatives,
socialisation.
And when we look at especially things like food, that means looking at the entire food production system and that being under the control of workers.
Yeah, she's fucking absolutely psychotic. Okay. Fuck.
This is a governor's position. This is a state representative.
Okay.
Who is it? A mayor?
What's your opinion?
Dude, honestly, it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, because this person has no institutional power.
Fine.
And this is exactly what I mean. When you champion Elon Musk and you're like, oh my God, he's correctly identifying the woke mind virus and doing X, Y, and Z, you're distracting from the very real issue that we have an unelected billionaire.
You're now distracting.
No, this is...
Answer my question.
We exist in the conversation of a larger...
Evan, answer my question.
It depends on the sport.
Give me a sport where it would be fine.
Archery.
But why is he laughing at archery? Maybe you need like strong back muscles. I don't know. Sure. Do men have like a natural advantage in fucking archery? It does take a bit more strength than people might think. That's true. But
Good to see you.
Fuck me.
How are you?
Men have longer arms. Does it help to have like significantly longer arms to fire a fucking arrow?
Good to meet you. What's your name?
I promise, Mason.
Mason.
I do not mean this as an insult.
No, please.
You seem way more comforting in person. Like you look, you look taller on your show. Like, and you have this like very like.
I'm 6'1". What are you talking about?
I don't. When I saw you walk in, I don't know. Maybe you just look like a giant on your show.
Oh, thank you.
But
I don't know how to take that, but I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah. So I really want to make sure that we get our definitions correct first.
Yes.
When you say that wokeism equals fascism, would you say that's like the claim diluted into like a small sentence?
Let me explain what I mean by that.
Okay.
And I've talked about this a lot in my book, Woke is Dead. And again, just to remind you, I come at this as a pissed off liberal who has nothing in common with the woke left and wants the woke left to actually come back to a more commonsensical, electable position, actually. And here's what I think about what wokeism became. It began in the 60s in Black American music. In its origin, a great thing. It was about raising awareness for social and racial injustice. By that criteria, I'm happy to say I'm woke. But that's not what's happened in the last few years. In the last few years, for a combination of reasons, one of which the pandemic sent everybody nuts. Everyone was at home drinking too much on the internet, firing off all their ridiculous views and just
learning about wokeism and fucking Algerian government-sanctioned trans boxers. PsyOps, yeah.
Into rabbit holes and so on. But we can leave.
I know the experience.
But wokeism is supposed to be a celebration.
7 minutes for the goal. One more for the goal. 7 minutes, goal.
You would, I would think, agree.
Yeah.
Hang on. It's supposed to be
Piers, you're the person in the center. Can I talk a little bit on my 3 minutes I get before I'm voted out?
I haven't made my point.
Okay.
Do you agree that it's supposed to be about liberalism, about being a liberal?
I would say that the idea of wokeism is kind of an evolution from a bunch of different terms that have been used to throw at the left specifically. So like before wokeism, it was critical race theory. Before critical race theory, it was social justice.
Right.
There's a lot that the right specifically, and I know you say that you're not the right,
does it celebrate,
but it's a reactionary.
It's
a reactionary response towards the elevation of certain groups that has historically been silenced.
But does it celebrate liberalism?
I don't think so. I don't think it has to. I think a lot of it also has to talk about class solidarity, which typically is
Let me give you a little Latin lesson, because the Latin words liber, meaning free, and also the root of liberty, meaning the quality or state of being free, and liberalis, meaning courteous, generous, gentlemanly.
I love these definitions.
Wait a minute.
Can you describe?
You asked for a definition.
Can you describe?
Dwayne, thanks for finishing the goal. Really appreciate that. Thanks for the $5. Thank you so much. You guys did it. You guys contributed to the stream. Wow, shit. You know what your reward is for that? Your reward for that is a new goal, guys. You see that coming. Get fucked. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm giving you one.
That's really what I want to talk about.
I know what fascism is.
Wait, what is it then? Because enlighten me.
Can I finish telling you what liberalism is?
No, I know what liberalism is.
Well, you don't think you do.
Yeah,
because if you're a woke left, they don't understand what being a liberal actually means. I do.
What being a liberal...
I do. So let me explain to you. The definition of a liberal includes one who is open-minded or not strict in the observance of orthodox, traditional, or established forms or ways, a person who's willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own, favorable to or respectful of individual rights and freedoms, and concerned with broadening general knowledge and experience. Now, what part of that do you think the woke left have adhered to in the last 5 years?
But I need to know, why is it fascism?
I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
So the woke left have basically said, we hate fascists, we hate Nazis. In fact, we think everyone we don't agree with is a fascist and a Nazi. Led by Donald Trump.
That's an insane
Led
generalization.
by everyone who voted for Trump, led by Charlie Kirk, led by all these people.
Can I tell you what
Wait,
I represent?
let me finish my point, then you can respond.
He's really fucking just using this guy as a soapbox. Shit.
They're all a bunch of fascists, they're all a bunch of Nazis. And I kept warning the woke left, as a pissed off liberal, stop over-demonizing people by using the word Nazi and Hitler and fascist. It is ridiculously self-harming to yourselves, and it leads actually to young deranged minds like the assassin of Charlie Kirk to actually put anti-fascism slogans on their bullets and to murder people for their speech, right? So wokeism, in the end, in the last few years, transformed from what was supposed to be a celebration of liberalism in many ways into a form of fascism. Why do I say that? Because it conditioned people
with glorious purpose. Also, it's payday for me. Enjoy.
Hey, thanks for the $10, Dwayne. Really appreciate that. Keeping me together. Fuck.
that you either adhere to our narrow worldview, and if you don't, we're going to shame you, vilify you.
Look, all the flags are up. I didn't even get to talk, Piers. Let me talk.
I'm going to let you respond.
I'm going to lose my time.
Cancel you, or in some circumstances, we're going to kill you for your free speech and opinions.
Okay.
And that is where it became, in my opinion, a very dangerous,
but it just sounds like
very deluded
it sounds like you're trying
form of fascism.
It sounds like you're
which
trying
is
to,
ironic because wokies say they hate the fascists.
It sounds like you're trying to correlate fascism with authority.
Yeah, we watched that episode of Kirk and Posobiec literally fucking glazing over the history of fucking, what was his name? Oh yeah, Franco. Yeah, like fawning over Franco's rule and doing apologia for Franco in Spain, who was a fascist, like a come on.
Authoritarianism, which is control of speech or control of how people interact or control of behavior.
Fascists do control speech.
Right, that can be a part of it, is the authoritarianism.
And they do kill you for your
but the
views.
specific part of fascism is specifically trying to preserve a hierarchy based on either shared ethnicity or shared culture.
Mm-hmm.
That is the idea of elevating
But the
one
woke
specific
left are their own
group
culture.
into the top. No.
Yes, you are.
So you're telling me that Hitler would have been wearing a BLM shirt? Or Hitler would have been wearing an Antifa? Because wokeism is not fascism. Fascism is specifically dealing with one particular group. They're elevating to the top of the hierarchy.
Who identify as woke
That's what we saw in fascist Italy. That's what we saw in Nazi
but they
Germany.
behave
That's
like
what we saw
fascists.
in Imperial Japan.
But Mason, do you not-
none of that correlates with the elevation of particular groups that have historically been silenced, which is the idea of what progressivism is.
I hear you.
I reject the idea of wokeness just because wokeness, again, is used as that insult that is elevated from
honestly,
different insults that have been thrown in the past.
Respectfully, I think wokeism has become one of the worst scourges in the world.
Yeah, because I think that
it's
there's been
become-
a successful campaign to basically attach...
led by the woke left?
No, it has been to attach all of these pejoratives to a idea of emancipation from silenced groups. That's the idea.
There's
idea
nothing
that,
silent about
yes,
the woke
the idea
left.
that we should bring
You never
people to
stop
the table
yapping,
that...
any of you.
No.
Ever. You never stop
That's why I hear
howling.
so much about cancel culture, about how everybody's
you know
getting
the best-
canceled
the
when they're
best-
millionaires with podcasts that talk about this shit every day.
The best quote I have in my book, Woke is Dead, and clearly it's still slightly alive here, but the best quote, I had an Australian woman come up to me in the streets in London, and she said, "Mr. Morgan, do you mind if I just say something about these wokies?" I went, "Sure." She said, "They just want to suck all the joy out of life."
And I went, God, you're so right. That's exactly what they do.
What is the joy that you're sucking out?
You are
Stopping saying slurs is sucking out the joy of life? You want to say slurs that bad?
I don't want to say slurs.
Well, that's like...
But you are collectively the most joyless group of people to ever walk on
I'm pretty
God's
joyful.
earth.
I'm smiling. I came in cracking jokes.
My advice is...
I could get a beer with you.
My advice for all of you is...
I think you need to relax a little bit.
Collectively, a bit of... I know you love a bit of Zen. Zen, calm down, take a chill pill, right? See the funny side of life.
I'm pretty chill.
Respect other people's opinions. Respect my right to have different opinions.
I think that you've dressed this like nightmare scenario around you, and then you start cowering. No, then you start cowering at the own demons that you set up. It's funny that like are the wokies are the wokies
cowering in this room?
You're saying they're the joyless people.
I've come sat in the middle of 20 hardcore.
They are joyless. They're ruining the joy of life.
Cowering?
They're sucking out the happiness. They're sucking out the happiness of society. That's the idea. You're saying the happiness is being sucked out by woke people.
I think you're just a joyless bunch. You should lighten up a bit.
That's an insane overgeneralization. That's how I feel about British people, but
Whoa.
Hello.
I'm Anne.
Hi, Anne.
You're Piers.
I am Piers.
I do want to kind of touch on the last thing that you and Mason talked about. I think the idea that the woke left is just this soulless, joyless majority of the left, at least now is what you seem to be making it out to be.
I don't think it's the majority. It's the noisy part of the left.
Okay. I actually think I can agree with you there. I think it's a loud minority of what you're calling the woke left. I think what really wokeness comes back to is that idea of fighting for equality, speaking up for people who don't have a voice themselves, and advocating on their behalf for their rights. And I think that you don't...
Do you identify as a woman?
No, but I think that's tangential.
What do you identify as?
That's tangential to this conversation.
No, it's actually very relevant to what I'm about to say.
No, I don't think my identity is relevant.
What do you identify
What if I started bringing up the fact that you're British and you're here talking to a bunch of Americans in America?
Great.
That would be completely irrelevant to this whole point.
It's very relevant.
We're talking about American
politics. In fact, the last guy to sit at this desk used British as a slur against me. So, yes.
I mean...
Absolutely fine. But I've risen
Might have been justified.
I haven't run to my therapist. I've risen above the slur.
It's just the English. I kind of let these pass for the English people because no one's thinking about fucking Scots when they make fun of British people. They're really just... They're not thinking about the Welsh. They're not thinking about the Northern Irish. They're thinking about fucking England, man. I don't know why. Like all of the bad voting decisions that this country makes and has made in the last 15, 20 years, it's all been England. It's always England voting Tory, England voting Brexit, England voting for fucking reform. It's going to be. It's always England. It's always them, man. Something wrong with them. Shithole.
I'm not going to report him to.
Very mentally
I'm not going to
fortified,
report him to the authorities for using a racial slur. I've moved on.
That's great, but I just don't think...
My point in asking you said this last stream, bro. Yeah, I'm a fucking propagandist. I'm against the English. Yes, I'm supposed to keep people on constant awareness, to keep reinforcing the message against the English. Yes, well done.
What you identify is you're talking about equality. The wokeism is aligned to equality. And yet, where does that equality apply if, for example, and we've touched on this already, if you are a woman athlete in sport, where's the equality in having a biological man compete against you when they have a physical advantage?
Okay, look, I think, that kind of strays away from...
Do you think that's equal?
Do I think it's equal for men and women to play in sports if there's an advantage that's like far above the threshold?
Yes.
No, I don't think that.
And you understand that's why we separate the sexes in sport, because men have a physical advantage.
To an extent, we do.
Not to an extent,
so,
they just do.
Okay. Then answer the question about archery. What do you think about archery? Do you think that has to be a segregated sport?
I've read a report, and correct me, someone I'm sure will correct me on the internet. I read a report that if it was a gender-neutral Olympics, women may end up with 2 bronze medals in the entire Olympics.
Wait. Okay.
Right?
2010 study. The gap between male and female athletes was 10.7% for running, 17.5% for jumps, 8.9% for swimming, 7% for speed skating, 8.7% for cycling. Okay.
But I think the point... Hold on.
I think that report, it might have... was this the one that David Pacman called him out on because the footnote led to some anti-trans website? Like, I don't know.
2 medals in the entire Olympic Games. In other words, it would be the destruction...
I'm not advocating for
I'm just saying
completely gender-neutral
sports. It would be the destruction of women's sport. That's why we separate
this is assuming the gender gap, which obviously doesn't account for years of HRT. These numbers are quite small for considering this is not considering. This isn't about trans. This is about gender the gender binary. Fuck.
And that's why the issue matters. Sorry, lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Excellent, nice suit.
Great to meet you,
What's
sir.
your name?
Nick. Great to meet
nice
you.
to meet you.
So look, the prompt was about the equivalency between wokeism and fascism. The key difference.
Well, to be clear, the prompt actually, my real point is, if you want to brand everybody fascist.
So is he correct or not? Well, he's not really engaging with the question because he's talking about gender neutrality, not whether or not trans people are included. Because obviously, if all the men and women could compete in the same sport, that means that most people competing in those sports would be cis men and cis women. And there's a bigger difference between a cis man and a cis woman than there is between a cis man and a trans woman who's been on hormones for 3 years, right? It's a big difference. Hormones nuke the fuck out of you if you're born male and you go on it and fucking HRT, it will absolutely fucking annihilate your strength and your fucking everything else that would give you a competitive advantage. It all but destroys it. Like I think it's still, the argument is that it still leaves some advantage, just not nearly as much as you would from not going on hormones. Hormones are like fucking anti-strength drugs. Same way with trans men, obviously get a lot stronger because of testosterone and whatever the fuck, yeah.
You can't behave like fascists yourself.
But the key difference is fascism uses the power of the state to impose their
so
opinions.
does the woke left.
Wokeism does not.
Oh, it does.
Was anybody deported for being woke during the Biden administration?
Grumble.
Does anybody get rounded up in the streets for their opinion? Did anybody get
Mm.
canceled because the FCC said you're being too woke?
Can I
that doesn't happen.
Can I answer?
Of course.
Of course. Actually, the woke left have deployed the power of the state many times. Look at the pandemic. Look at the pandemic.
How is that wokeism?
I'll tell you how it's wokeism.
Wait, so diseases are woke now?
This was done by conservative and left-wing governments across the world. What the fuck, man? The COVID, dude. He's fucking internet brainrot, man. It's just he's a Facebook dad. He's the Council of Dads is. He's like this fucking. He's the chair of this Council of Dads. Fuck the general secretary, and the supreme leader. He's all of them. Fuck. COVID. Who was locking us down in the UK? It was fucking Boris. Boris was woke. What?
No, wokeism is where you take things which are not actually science-based. For example, the efficacy of masks, right? And by the way, I feel guilty of this myself. I'm not saying I'm whiter than white about this.
So masks are woke.
No, they can be. The woke mentality, I'll explain why. When a government says that if you're seen without a mask during a pandemic, you can be fined or punished.
Pierce, you're way too smart to believe this.
Wait a minute. I'm giving you the argument which I ended up accepting, right? Which is in a fast-moving pandemic, when the scientific advice changes so rapidly, I fell victim to this myself. I was very censorious of people. But you can't deny that the state had a mindset of you will conform or we will punish you. And it turned out they were making people...
That's simply not true.
It is true.
You may have felt uncomfortable being unmasked in public because people would say, hey, be courteous of other people.
I didn't.
Nobody got fired.
I didn't.
Nobody lost their job. Nobody
Actually,
got
people did get fired and did lose their jobs.
All that stuff got overturned.
No,
because we are a nation of laws.
People did get fired. They all.
Biden's executive order in September 2021 mandated all federal employees and contractors to get vaccinated. Very few were fired because it was challenged in court and left in legal limbo. There were thousands of firings at the state level. Yeah, there were firings. Yeah.
Lost their jobs for not wearing a mask. They were told they couldn't come to work.
Who?
Lost thousands of people.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so these nebulous people lost their job.
Nick, to be clear, you don't think anybody lost their job in the pandemic for refusing to wear a mask or refusing to be vaccinated?
I think that people who were in public-facing situations where they could have easily taken a scientifically proven preemptive measure.
It wasn't proven.
Yes, it was.
No, it turned out not to be proven. That's my point. And yet the state, driven by a left-wing Democrat president,
so me telling you that you are spreading misinformation, that is not fascism. That is just me telling you you're wrong.
No, you're not telling me I'm wrong because I'm right.
Okay, no, you're just not. And we're not going to relitigate COVID. That's now years ago at this point. The key point is it fascism? It is not fascism. You gave your very long definition of liberalism. Wokeism is about everything on that list that you described as being liberal.
Really?
It's about standing up for other perspectives.
You think
it's about listening to other people that have not traditionally been listened to.
Oh, you don't listen to anybody.
Yes,
what are you
we
talking
do.
about? Of course you don't.
You said yourself, wokeism started about just acknowledging social problems. I think it's woke
That's
that
originally
middle America's
yes.
jobs have been shipped overseas. That's woke to recognize that there's larger social problems.
I don't dispute
police brutality,
yes.
recognizing that there's a problem with the institution of policing. That's woke. It's not fascist.
Would you defund the police?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, well that's
He's so desperate for her to fucking catch them in some trope. Oh God. Do you believe in equity and not equality? Fuck me, man. Fuck.
Woke. Not defunding the police.
Do you believe from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs? Do you believe in globalizing the Intifada?
Woke?
Calling
Accept a challenge, Piers. Come on.
for the police to be defunded is one of the worst things the woke, including Mamdani
Okay,
in New
this
York.
is like-
the new mayor of New York City called for the
Your first
called
prompt
for the
was toxic
NYPD to be
masculinity has
defunded.
always meant one thing. Now you're saying woke used to mean one thing, but now it means a different
Yes.
thing. So words only have one definition when they suit you.
No.
But when they don't suit you, they change and
Obviously,
they can fluctuate.
obviously, you said that wokeism is a form of liberalism, right? You said that.
Yes.
Everything I read.
Wokeism is a form of
and yet, just to
liberalism.
remind
Absolutely.
you, a person who is willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own. The woke left famously, I would say infamously, never accept anybody objecting to anything they say.
We
You as a
confront bad
collective-
speech with better speech.
You confront bad speech with better
Yes.
speech. No, you don't.
Like denying the
What-
efficacy of Max and vaccines, and I'm telling you that's wrong.
No, I
I'm not saying you should be canceled or you should be in prison for that.
Actually, if you want my honest view, I do not think the efficacy of masks was ever proven. In fact, I think most of the evidence now suggests they were pretty pointless. Secondly, on vaccines, I think they saved millions of lives, but I do think it was completely misleading of the government here and the government in the UK and other countries when they stated as a scientific fact that
They
if you
didn't
had
say that it gives you a 100% chance. No one ever fucking said this. Stop the fucking gaslighting. Jesus Christ. Also, with masks, the level of effectiveness was disputed. It wasn't said that they were completely useless. Second of all, let's say they did find out that the masks were useless. It's a fucking pandemic. It's a new disease that we don't fucking know about. We don't know what it's going to do. We don't know we haven't done research on it. It's new. It's research. Obviously, there's going to be a fucking procedure where people are going to be looking into it and looking at studies and looking at samples, and then those sample sizes grow and grow and grow, and they go across the world, and we experiment with different methods, and we might find out, okay, yeah, this thing showed a bit of promise, but now later on it doesn't. Oh yeah, this thing is maybe worth a trial study, but now we're going to later find out 2 years later that it actually didn't do anything because it's been through the trials, and it turns out it doesn't help. You know what that was the case for? Ivermectin. Ivermectin was studied. It was people were given ivermectin as part of medical trials, and fucking nothing came out to show that it was any kind of substitute for vaccinations or helped with COVID at all. Like, fuck. But people still emptied the shelves of fucking horse paste, shoved it in their fucking assholes. God. Dennis Prager with his cocktail of alternative fucking medicine and all the stuff that wasn't recommended ever. Fuck's sake. Fuck. Yes, this is erudite. Yes, well done.
the vaccine, you couldn't transmit the virus.
The measure was whether the healthcare system would be overwhelmed.
Wait a minute.
The healthcare system did not collapse. It worked. That was all it was supposed to be. It wasn't that no one would ever get sick
I'm making
ever.
the point that when you issue government mandates and it
Yeah,
turns
one of the problems with masks was that people kept on buying those stupid, like useless skinny masks, like the thin ones that obviously didn't stop, that weren't as effective in blocking droplets or whatever the fuck where the virus is spread, and also not like maintaining them properly, like people not cleaning their masks properly. There were specific kinds of masks that you were supposed to get, but some people just got these random, like, oh God. My favorite. Okay, this is obviously the extreme end of the scale. Remember this fucking mask that Lana Del Rey, obviously this mask is probably quite useless, right? Obviously, bless our toxic queen. This mask was fucking, yeah, this mask probably wasn't it. Dwayne, thanks for the $5. Loner believes in medicine like a nerd. A pound of rotting, worm-filled bear a day keeps the doctor away. That's the American healthcare system now. True.
that you were wrong. For example, when they said you cannot transmit the virus if you have the vaccine.
They didn't say that. It's a fucking lie. It's a lie. Where's the fact check? Fact check the shit out of him. It would reduce
turned out that wasn't true. Do you accept that?
I do accept that.
So there were lots of things they said which
my God.
turned out to be wrong. So
I think the phrase that he might be taking is that they said it would stop the spread, which is obviously because it dramatically reduces people's chances of spreading it. It would stop one case from turning into 20,000 so quickly. Oh God!
I would rather err on the side of caution with a disease that killed millions of people around the world.
Where's the fact check?
Hey, Nick, as I did, and in fact, I was very censorious to people who took the position I'm now taking
Again, it's
against
not
you.
being censorious. We're having this debate in a public forum. I'm not saying you're not allowed to speak about this.
I'm not making that
I'm just going to tell you you're wrong.
I'm making the point that I was
Early pandemic was funny. People wearing clear plastic bags, 5-gallon jugs on their heads. I we spoke about flattening the curve. Yeah, they never said it was 100%, bro. But there'll be a sentence, right? There'll be a sentence where they're like, yeah, use a condom so you don't get pregnant. And they're like, oh, so you're saying that condoms always 100% stop pregnancy? Like, okay, yeah. Fuck me, bro. Ugh. I do remember very distinctly people buying so much toilet paper. I was like, what? Oh, God, I've never seen so little toilet paper on a shelf. Fuck me, that was so strange. Anyway.
Wrong at the time about those particular parts of it. We can agree that the vaccines broadly, I think, worked. But we can also agree the scientists got it wrong about masks. They got it wrong about the efficacy of transmission with vaccines.
Fucking Joe
These are
Rogan.
things
I
we
don't know why they're able to
together
get away with this shit.
Hey, this is
and that's
great.
to me, right? Really good to see you.
Hey, before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thanks so much to Straight Arrow News for powering the fact checks in this video. Straight Arrow News is on a mission to raise the bar on journalism in a time of media bias and mistrust. Straight Arrow News helps you quickly find trusted information you need to understand the news, allowing you to dive.
Why are they talking about COVID? Well, you'll never guess why they're talking about COVID, because he was talking about, does the state ever enforce woke policy by curbing on people's freedoms? Did people get deported for being unwoke, or jailed for being unwoke, especially in the United States? And Pierce's example was COVID. That was an example of woke state authoritarianism, was the fucking COVID lockdown. Jesus Christ. The vaccine mandates for federal employee. He's mental. He's a mad dad. He's a mad he's a mad fucking Facebook dad. But that's the thing, is like, you need to learn how to talk to people like that, because they are like dangerously close to the average British and American voter, especially in that demographic. All right.
Deep into the topics that matter to you and the world around you. Their work is trying to break the bias bubble, helping you understand how every side of
shit.
My next surrounding claim is that gender-neutral pronouns are pointless.
Oh God, please let Parker come in here and just absolutely fucking brutally fucking sodomize him with the the following sentence, eh? If any one person wants to come and talk to me, they are more than welcome. Is that a valid sentence in the English language? Piers?
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm Jeremiah. Okay, so, I bet you didn't know that you were coming to a therapy session. I am a therapist.
Whoa!
So, yes, finally.
Finally.
But
a missing link in my life.
Yes. So I would argue that pronouns...
I do wonder if Piers is like a fairly friendly person in real life. Like, do you think he's actually just like a nice guy? Just a bit fucking retarded? Like, I don't know, maybe? I don't know. It's hard to tell with these media figures, though, because a lot of them can have a very kind of like a superficial charm, but he used to have like a much more obnoxious fucking demeanor. He used to come off as much more of an asshole than he does now, but yeah, who knows? Ghislaine said he was lovely. Well, that's a really, I suppose that's it. I'll say then, yeah. Huh.
People being wanting to be referred to the pronouns that they want actually aid them in their self-esteem improving and their validation and affirmation in life.
And then their lives obviously are lacking a lot of other things. It's like nobody cares about pronouns.
What would their life be lacking?
What pronouns?
I can see at least one person in this room who cares quite a lot about pronouns, Piers. How to describe him physically? English. Just very fucking English.
How's yours?
I'm he, him.
Okay, so you're a bloke.
Yes.
Okay, why do you need to call yourself he, him? I know what you are. You're a man.
Right, but I think that you're talking about people that
Do
want
you
to be
feel
called.
do you feel affirmed by the fact you call me he, him?
I'm talking about other pronouns, so like they, them, z.
Well, they,
right?
them.
Oh, not Z. Oh, no. All hell's going to break loose. Don't explain Z, Zer to Piers Morgan. Oh, no. This guy can't even get around they, them. We're going to try. Oh, no.
All right, they, them.
Yes.
There's one person
Well,
saying, call me they, them.
But okay, well,
they, them is a plural.
Right.
How
It's not a plural. It's not just a plural. It's been used in singular since the days of Shakespeare, Piers Morgan. What the fuck?
can you be more than one
So
person?
guess what? What about someone nine?
How can you be more than one person? Fuck.
Call me stupid, but
someone that's non-binary who can engender.
What does
two
non-binary
pronouns,
mean?
I'm explaining it right now. Who can engender both masculine and feminine traits, and that is their third gender. If that's what they want to be called, why is it so hard for you and other people to call them what they want to be
I
called?
just think it's all bullshit.
But I'm asking you,
I don't-
why can't you just call them what they want to be called
No,
if that's what they want to be
Because
called?
I don't want to.
Well, who's this they they're talking about? Because that could be an individual, right? He's like, I don't want to use they, their pronouns for Stephen. And then the guy's like, why don't you? That can be singular. It can be for one person. What if they're imagining a person? We don't know their gender. He's like, let's say someone comes up to you and they want to be called someone comes to you and they want to be called XYZ. Pierce.
So how are you being empathic if you don't want to call them what they want to be
I
called?
don't care.
But so empathy.
again-
Empathy is a muscle that you could develop in therapy. So if you went to therapy, you'd have developed that
I
muscle.
can't think of anything I'd rather less develop.
Well,
when one human being says to me, call me they, them, I laugh. It's absurd. There's
Okay.
one of them.
And that shows that you're not.
What was that sentence he just used? Please, someone. He just said there's one of them. One of that. What? There's one of what, Pierce? Fuck.
To explain it.
Okay. And that shows that you're
they, them. I laugh. It's absurd. There's
Okay.
one of them.
And that shows that you're not empathic.
I asked a non-binary person who was a guest on my show recently, what does non-binary mean? She couldn't explain it.
Okay, so
it was actually torturous.
So that's her. But the thing is, what if
Wait, when was it?
they want to be
I
called?
just think it's all bull.
If that's what they engender.
Call me they, them.
But okay, well,
they, them is a plural.
Right.
How can you be more than one
So
person?
guess what? What about someone nine?
I mean, call me stupid, but
someone that's non-binary.
Yeah,
who
maybe
can
I will.
Engender.
What does
two
non-binary
pronouns.
mean?
I'm explaining it right now. Who can engender both masculine and feminine traits, and that is their third gender. If that's what they want to be called, why is it so hard for you and other people to call them what they want to be
I
called?
just think it's all bullshit.
But I'm asking you, why can't you just call them what they want to be called
No,
if that's what they want to be
Because
called?
I don't want to.
So how are you being empathic if you don't want to call them what they want to be
I
called?
don't care.
But so empathy.
again-
Empathy is a muscle that you could develop in therapy. So if you went to therapy, you'd have developed that
I
muscle.
can't think of anything I'd rather less develop.
Well,
when one human
Okay,
being
it's here, yeah.
says to me, call me they, them, I laugh. It's absurd. There's
Okay.
one of them.
And
I can't, dude. What is that sentence? Fuck. I need a clip. It's just, it's so poetic. And it also goes to show, right, that these people, when they have issues with trans and non-binary people, it's not for anything logical. It's not like like a logical reason. It's just, he started with thinking it's weird and stupid and just walked backward and looked for fucking, dude, there's one of what? He did a singular they, them while saying that there's no such thing as a singular they, that, bro.
So empathy is a muscle that you could develop in therapy. So if you went to therapy, you'd have developed that
I
muscle.
can't think of anything I'd
He's
rather
such
less
a
develop.
dad, man. He's such a dad.
Well,
When one human being says to me, call me they, them, I laugh. It's absurd. There's
Okay.
one of them.
and
Parker heard that. There's no fucking way Parker didn't hear that. There's no way he's not sitting there loading up like a fucking harpoon. My God. There's one of them. It's fucking brilliant. It's such a good sentence, dude. One more for the boys.
Says to me, call me, let's develop.
Well,
when one
from here, right? From here, when one person says it's so self-contained. Parker's flag shot through the roof. Just what's he say here?
Rather less develop.
Well,
when one human being says to me, "Call me they them," I laugh. It's absurd. There's one of them.
And that
I
shows
laugh.
that you're
It's absurd.
You're not empathic.
I asked a non-binary person who was a guest on my show recently.
It's so good. It's so good. When one human being says to me, "Call me they them," I laugh. It's absurd. There's one of them. Oh shit. That's so good. If I was still a video essayist, there would be like, you'd play that clip and have it typed out and then just the most dramatic zoom into this fucking word. There's one of the, dude.
What does non-binary mean? She could.
Aren't you tweaking here? Yes, I am tweaking. Yes, I'm losing my shit. I'm spurging. I'm crashing out. I'm mentally ill. Yes, all of the things. Yes.
Didn't explain it.
Okay, so
it was actually torturous.
So that's her, but the thing is, why don't you get someone on your show who can explain
How many
it?
pronouns are there?
Multiple.
How many?
I don't know. I'm not an expert in
The last count is there are 74 official ones.
Wow.
Do you know?
Okay, you're going to say cat and
official. Gee, okay.
Dog. I'm a cat. I'm a dog. There's
no.
he,
I'll
him,
come to those.
she,
No.
they, them.
Talk about gender pronouns.
Yes,
right?
so am I.
There are 74. One of them is astral gender, an affinity with space.
No, where are you getting this information?
Official genders. Google it.
Official from who? Grassroots Hegemon. Thanks for the 20 gifted subs. That's so generous of you. Wow. Official according to who, dude? What? Fucking BuzzFeed. Like, what's he talking about?
Actually, Google it.
Have you had someone on your show who said, I'm an astro whatever?
Yes, I actually got one on.
No, and did you pay
Yeah,
that?
you fucking fished them out so you could make a spectacle out of them because they're such a fucking rare. Oh God.
Person to go on? Like, I mean,
utter lunacy. The whole thing. It's like kids identifying as cats at school.
No,
you know what I would do with them?
That does not happen.
It does happen.
That is some bogus like media presentation.
No,
that does not happen.
No, it has happened. Read my book, Woke is Dead. It's all in there.
I don't know if I'll read that.
There was a phenomenon called the furries. You know what it was? Kids would go to school.
And furries are not gender identities. What are we talking? Okay.
I know what furries are, and furries are not a gender. That's its own kind of lifestyle. It's like people in outfits.
But this is where, with all due respect, this is where
furries is literally just fucking dress up. Why is he getting fucking cranky about that? Oh my God. Why? There's just something so special about the fact that he's supposed to be on the one hand the kind of the back to basics bread and butter guy that you want to have a pint with and fucking likes his football and tea and biscuits and Sky Sports and domestic abuse on TV. He likes all that stuff, right? But he's so obsessed with fucking. But he's also on his phone in the pub freaking out about fucking furries and they them pronouns. It's such a weird. Why?
Limitless self-identity takes you. It takes you to the absurd. For example, do you believe? Let me ask you.
Okay, go.
Do you believe that you can identify as anything you like?
No.
Oh, what are the exceptions?
I think that most people that when they think about their gender identity, it's he, him, she, her, they, z. Those are the ones that people are. Z is. Oh God! Now I can't explain it. No, but Z.
Uh-oh.
You've no idea, have you? It's all complete baloney. What's Z? I've no idea. And you're the guy trying to defend this nonsense.
Oh,
Here's my other question for you, right?
So
it used to be LGBT.
He's just so happy. That's his moment. He just got saved by the Zers.
Then it was LGBTQ. What is it now? What's the
It's LGBTQ plus, or it could be LGBTQIA2S, two-spirit.
Right, and what does it stand for?
Two-spirit or the
No,
two-spirit?
the whole thing. LGBT. Read the whole thing.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, LGBT, trans, queer, or questioning, LGBTQIA, intersex, asexual, It's the two-spirited individuals.
You forgot pansexual and asexual.
Well, so pan is. I did say
He literally said asexual. You fucking retard. But okay.
asexual. Pan is not in there. Nice
to meet you, man.
Pan isn't in the. Bro. What the fuck are we talking about, man?
Hello.
Hello, Piers.
What's your name?
I'm Jenny.
Jenny, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, we wanted to talk about, I guess your initial claim is that pronouns are silly or purposeless.
I think we've just established how silly they are. I mean, even the people defending them can't remember what they mean.
Right. So, I just wanted to touch
so
on
happy.
two things here. So, I don't think anyone is denying biological sex assignment at birth, right? Whatever your doctor determines your...
Well, it's not about doctors assigning anything, is it? You're either born with certain genitals or you're not.
Right, but a doctor...
No, with intersex cases, doctors make a decision. And sometimes that decision has changed over time, especially with things like, was it congenital adrenal hyperplasia because of the fucking penis versus the hormones or fucking chromosomes.
A doctor has to look at
When
it.
you're
to
a male
determine
or
that.
female.
Right, understanding.
Do you accept that?
Yeah, I
This
do
whole-
think
what
that
does-
we've got
this
two
whole
sexes.
phrase,
Why are we
assigned
doing
at
this,
birth.
man?
What does it mean?
It's so boring.
That means a
There are
doctor is-
literally fucking wars happening in the world and financial turmoil and tariffs and fucking boats full of drugs, potentially, maybe, we don't know, no evidence, but we're assured there's lots of drugs on the boats, and that's why we need to kill the men on board with fucking drone strike. There were Jewish space lasers. They're actually real. They're just not, they don't go to space. They just fire lasers at Hamas rockets. It's the Iron Beam or whatever the fuck it's called. That's actually real. But my God! Pierce wants to talk about Zer pronouns.
Looked at you as
No,
a baby,
they look at you and they just see what I look at you and see. I don't have to be a doctor to know what you're assigned as.
Right, but okay.
You're just
so-
born. Do you accept that the vast majority of people ever in the history of planet Earth are born male or female?
Yeah, I do believe,
Then
but
can
there
we
is
stop the phrase
some...
assigned at birth by a doctor?
That's
Literally,
what a doctor
I've
does,
had 4
though.
babies. They look at them and they go, oh, it's a boy, it's a girl. That's it.
Right, so a
What you
doctor
then decide
determines
to call
that and
yourself,
writes that on your
it's
birth
entirely down to you.
certificate.
But there's no one
Okay,
assigning
can I
anything.
finish my point, please?
Yeah, but they're not assigning anything.
Can I
It's a
finish
ridiculous
my point,
phrase.
please?
Feel
Thank
free.
you. So, whatever your biological sex is determined by a doctor upon your birth, I don't think anyone's denying that. However, gender is a construct
Oh,
that
no.
is how we express ourselves.
How many genders are there?
For me, I
74 according to the official definition.
think that it's a scale, and however you want to express yourself is up to you.
Can I
But
express myself as anything I want?
Well, if you let me finish my point. Sure. Okay, so for example, we talk about masculinity, we talk about femininity, and some days I feel like I want to feel more feminine, so I wear a dress or I do things that are socially constructed and designated as feminine. Or maybe other people have like this idea of masculinity, so they present themselves in that way. So gender is different from biological sex in that it's how you express yourself. To me, somebody's gender expression and how they want to be addressed is no different than using somebody's name.
Right.
Because I write, so when we use pronouns, it's with purpose, right?
What are your pronouns?
She, her.
So you're a woman?
Yes.
So why do you need to call yourself she, her?
Well, that's just how you address women.
So why use them as pronouns?
But pronouns are just used in English
We
language.
never used to. This has just only started 10 years ago. Nobody ever...
Pronouns has always been used in the
Yes.
English language.
I'm talking about the new cavalcade of extra pronouns.
I think
other
we're
than-
making it out to
If
be
you're a
so much
woman,
more
you're a
than it
she,
really
her.
is.
If you're a man, you're a he, him.
Fucking pronouns! He's that guy. In good faith, he's just assuming that people, when he says pronouns, he means the new ones.
This guy went on a rant about Starfield.
No, I don't want a fucking commentary. I just want the guy, please. Fucking leave me. God. Is the original? Yeah. Here, thank you.
Laid out in front of me, I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us.
Current day.
Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns! Fucking gender ambiguity! Fucking current day Californian shit! Because that's all we fucking know! Because we're boring! We're so fucking boring!
What an epic fucking rant.
If anything, we don't have enough trans people in society. There should be more. Because the more of them there are, the more irritated people like this get. And it's just very funny.
That's it.
Okay.
Right? The rest of it is just a complete construct of the woke left.
Okay,
And none
a
of
construct,
it, as
like
we've
you
already
said.
established, none of it makes sense to the point that none of you can even explain half of it.
No, and I'm still explaining.
Also,
it.
at this rate, with the way things are going, I would have no hesitation in supporting a trans national movement, okay? A national movement for trans people where they go and just fucking colonize some fucking empty or barely empty, where they just go and colonize some it doesn't even need to be empty. It can be populated as fuck. If some fucking trans national movement just goes to some plot in fucking Wyoming or whatever and just clears the place out to build a little country, like a little trans Zionism, I would completely support it. And it should be in America or somewhere like that. Just find the highest proportion of triggered fucking dads, crowdfund it, GoFundMe, buy the land, don't buy it, whatever. Buy the land, evict them, or don't buy it, and just fucking chase them out with guns. Trans-colonialism, I'm all for it. They should do it.
So
how many genders are there?
I'm still talking about gender
No,
expression.
but can you
and
tell me how many genders there are?
I'm talking about
How many are there?
Because they need to be kept safe from these people. Like these people are. Imagine someone being such an insignificant group in society, being such an already exceptionally vulnerable group in society, and having this kind of obsession fucking put place at your door, having people think about you like this. Like you need a country. You need a right to defend yourself. Fuck.
personally don't care. I don't know.
Do you know a number?
No, because for biological sex, maybe we can talk about that in binary.
Do you believe in the concept of limitless
They're
self?
just getting the Jewish experience. To be fair, like I have heard people say, this is not the first time I've heard this, where people talk about how like trans people and the Jews have a surprising amount of in common. Yeah.
Self-identity.
No. So if
So
you
what's
would
the,
let
where's the limit?
If you would let me continue.
Where's the limit?
If you would let me continue. Thank you. So what I'm saying though is that when you refer to somebody in their pronouns that they ask for, it's just general English language how we use it. There are plenty of languages out there that don't even have pronouns because that's just how the language works. So if you can speak a different language and not have to refer to somebody by their pronouns, I know exactly who you're talking to, then I don't think pronouns are a big deal.
I hear you, and you phrased it very nicely. But my point being, I think it's got completely out of hand.
Okay.
When there are 74
completely out of
cited
hand.
genders,
Diabolical.
if you Google lacking as the official list of genders, and one of them is an affinity.
Okay, this is fine, but it's like a 5-minute clip. Fuck. I need it downloadable. Download here does not download like in the way that I need it to. I need it for a Twitter clip. I literally just want 10 seconds for that. I just want this sentence clipped from this Jubilee. When one human being says to me, call me they, them, I laugh. It's absurd. There's one of them. I just need this. I just need it like that. That's it.
The space, I'm calling bullshit. When you have LGBTQ and it now has so many letters that even experts in the field of the LGBT community acronym cannot remember what they all mean, it is ridiculous. And when it comes to limitless self-identity, I had this debate with someone on International Women's Day on my show Uncensored. And I had two guests, one was white, one was black. There's a relevance to that. And we were talking about this and I said, right, two women. I said, do you believe in limitless self-identity? And the wokey of the two guests said, I do. And you have to respect what people want. And she said, yes. I went, okay, in that case, I, on International Women's Day, Piers Morgan, am now identifying as a black lesbian. And the black panelist burst out laughing.
Again, you misheard him. He said he's one of them. What? A wokey. Why is he... Is he not just capable of debating... the people he's in front of?
He knew what I was doing, which is taking this argument to its logical conclusion, which is...
Is he saying there's one of him? When one human being says to me, call me they, them, I laugh, it's absurd. There's one of them. Because he's saying it's not singular. Fuck me.
Once you make it limitless, society just collapses because anyone can say that they're anything they want.
If I may interject
and you would
that.
say to me, if I said to you, I'm a black lesbian, what would you say?
I would say that you're conflating this idea of limitless, like whatever, gender expression or self-identity.
Yeah.
I already said I don't agree with that.
Yeah, but you didn't say where the limit is.
Right. So for me personally, and what I believe is that there are scientific things that we can agree to, like biological sex, right? But gender expression is a cultural
I know,
and societal.
you said that, but where is the limit?
Right.
This is what he said. Okay, fucking hell, listen carefully. Jesus Christ.
Well, when one human being says to me, call me they, them, I laugh. It's absurd. There's one of them.
And that.
How can you not understand what he's saying there? He's saying, I cannot, it's absurd for me to call you they, them because there's only one of you. But because he's referring to this person who haven't specified their gender yet, as an individual, we're saying there's one of them. There's one of them. But he's using them as a singular. But the whole point that he's trying to make is that they, them cannot be used for a singular. Just leave me alone. You guys are fucking mental. He's one of them. That doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't change anything.
That shows that you're in.
I laugh. It's absurd. There's one of them.
There's one of them. Who the fuck says he like that? There's one of them. There's one of them. There's one of them is what he's saying. There is one of them. You guys are fucking retarded. You are so stupid. There's no other, how else would that sentence even make any fucking sense?
You
can't identify as another race because that's just genetically not correct. Right?
So there are limits to this.
Yeah, I do.
So I'm really curious where the woke limit is on self-identity.
Gender is a social construct. A social construct means we made it up. Right?
Yes.
Exactly. So
it's completely invented.
Therefore, you can have whatever identity that you want because you've decided to create that.
Yes, but my point, the point of my,
but why is that a problem?
No, here's the problem. It's got so out of control. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Gotcha.
How are you?
Ryan.
Nice to meet you, right?
Piers. So
actually, I have my preferred pronouns.
Okay, what are they?
Hot, hotter, hottest.
I can call you that. I can honor that, yeah.
But throughout the conversation, I expect you to call me
all right. Hottie, is that okay?
No, I prefer hottest.
Hottest?
Yeah.
Okay, I take that personal because I thought I was. So look, I think you do this really great job of taking the far edge use case and writing a book about it. I think what you're trying to do is take this thing that is explicitly a
underhanded,
one-dimensional, two-dimensional range and adding things like this random star thing and then elephants and all that stuff. Nobody who is serious.
It's not random.
Oh, fine.
These
fine.
things
I tell you what,
exist.
you're right. If you can Google it, it must be the mainstream.
No, if you read my book, you'll see these are specific examples.
No, I got it. No, I understand. You are really good at taking anecdotes and making them data. If that was how science worked.
Not data, just facts.
Well,
for example, there was a school in the north of England called the Altrincham School for Girls, where everybody there is a girl. That's why they call it Altrincham School for Girls. And then because of the trans activist campaign, eventually they banned teachers and pupils from referring to each other as girls, even though everybody there was a girl.
I think the vast majority of people who care about this at all would say that's an edge case, and most of us think that's weird.
Great.
That's the vast majority of people.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So explain to me why you think personal pronouns actually matter.
Well, the question of gender has gone back for thousands of years. There were over 150 distinct civilizations in North America before colonialism that had more than two genders. So this is what we in the real world like to call an open question that evolves.
I can also say that they definitely were not woke for doing that. They had very different reasons.
Over time. I don't think that the fact that the question exists means there's some systemic sickness within society. And I don't understand why the fact that something that maybe you're not that familiar with or is an open question makes you uncomfortable.
My argument is only that it's pointless.
Well, I mean,
what are
your
pronouns?
He, him.
Right, so everyone I've asked has basically said she, her, he, him.
Yeah.
Well, in my day, it was just male and female, man and woman.
Got it.
So
well, here's the thing.
Back in my day. Okay.
You and I don't, but it's not for us to get. It's not ours to get. That's the point.
No, but my point is I shouldn't be compelled to use absurd
pronouns. Fine. Listen, whatever you call absurd, fine. Whatever you choose not to
you
say is
have
fine.
To call me
Here's
hottest.
The thing. You could go around
even
and
though
call
I say my preferred pronoun is hottest.
No.
You
as
don't
a gay
have
man,
to call me that.
Listen, as a gay man, you could go around calling me a and that would be okay. You're not allowed to do that. You're not going to get arrested. You're not going to go to prison. You can do whatever you want. Exactly. It would be offensive and unkind. It would not be okay, but you could do it. What I'm saying is you don't have to accept other people's pronouns.
Yes. The problem with this is that you can just say any identity, like every pronoun's valid, like equally valid, which is annoying as well. It's actually kind of, it doesn't help and it doesn't help binary trans people to have that as well, to say that their identity or their needs to get gendered the right way are equivalent to someone who changes their pronouns on a whim. This is interesting. Bashar al-Assad, on the anniversary period of his downfall, right? Like this time last year, he was getting shagged brutally. It's him in Moscow. Is that real? Actually, it's probably not real. Why am I? Whatever. Fuck. He wouldn't be outside waving at people. I'm retarded.
Well, you've been saying a lot. I'm referring to things you've said.
You're putting words into my mouth.
Okay, fine. Correct me.
No, you should let me say what I think about you.
Okay, go for it. I can't wait.
I just found your terminology offensive.
Okay.
Is
that all you were going to say?
Obviously, look, we can agree that when there are derogatory terms like that, it's offensive.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right. And so if I find it offensive that you refuse to honor someone's they-them pronouns, I'm allowed to be offended by that.
But
You're
why?
allowed to be offensive.
Sure.
That's a thing that can happen out in the world. That doesn't make you right.
No, but we have...
Has anyone actually said anything about what he's doing in Moscow? There was an article talking about... obviously, he's like quite secluded in his gamer cave. Has there been? There probably wouldn't be any footage of him, would there? I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what that's like. He must just be so bored.
A crazy phase, which I talk about in the book, where companies, big companies, people were getting fired for not using people's pronouns.
I don't think, look.
Do you agree that's insane?
Hold on, listen. Anytime change happens, there are going to be blips
But do you
of
agree that was
extremity.
mad? Do you agree nobody should be fired?
I don't think anybody should get fired, no.
Nobody should be fired, so we agree. This is good. It's a good...
Yeah, no, but the vast majority of people think that, Piers. I mean, for the same reason that most of us call ourselves woke, tongue-in-cheek, where there's minutia, there's little details, little to the side cases, and then there's what's common. And what's common is people respect people's pronouns, but it is uncommon for an employer to fire someone for refusing to put them in their email signature.
Actually, it's more common than you think. And actually became a very insidious part of wokeism. I mean, which is what I call the cancel culture. We're going to come to that as a separate question, but this whole idea that if you don't conform to a particular worldview, you have to be
No, look,
cancelled,
I understand that. Look,
shamed,
there are people on the far extreme of both the left and the right who want to get rid of people who think differently than they do. That's a both sides thing.
On both sides, I agree.
But 95% of us are inside of those sides. This is not like a systemic problem with our whole human society. Yeah. This is a far edge use case. So if you want to write a book and you want to go around talking about it like it applies to all of us, I just want to be clear, you're taking a molehill and making a mountain out of it.
Sounds like you pretty well agree with me.
Well, yeah, no, I agree with the principle of some of these things can be extreme. What I disagree with is how you take it and you make it this permanently awful bad thing, black and white, binary, it's bad, and you want to dismiss out of hand anyone that might be close to it.
I think wokeism as a mindset is honestly, I think it's a joyless, hectoring, censoring, virtue signaling load of old crap. I do. And I say that.
I hear you.
And like I say, I don't say that because I'm on the right, because I'm not. The right will tell you I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
Ask them what they think about things like gun control and
No,
abortion and things like that,
I get
right?
it. No, your
not.
contrarian thing is a great brand. And I believe it's authentic. I believe it's authentic.
I genuinely sit in the middle on this stuff.
Well, fine. But here's the thing. I want to just be clear that what we're talking about are holding against the whole of society edge cases. I have been a grassroots activist for 15 years. I also do stand-up comedy with all kinds of people. People say things that are offensive all the time, and every once in a while, in all these places, you run into one or maybe two people who are these joyless, joy-sucking, nothing is okay people. But all of us, the vast majority of us who give a shit about any of these things, find those people to be unusual.
But my point,
they get cornered over there,
and
they're over there, and we don't do. And that's why when you say wokeism is like that, we all go bullshit, Piers, because that's not how we are.
Listen. I agree that all-encompassing, verdicts on a group
The audience
of people
likes this guy.
is often a bit misleading. If
good to hear that.
you're clearly not an extreme progressive wokey, right? You're somewhere probably a bit more normal, which is like I said at the
That's
start.
not what my dad says. But.
No, but I can see you probably are. You've probably got quite a common sense valve in you, right?
God, I hope so.
And that's all I want really is common sense.
Good luck.
Hello.
Hi, Sophie. Nice to meet you.
Sophie, nice to meet you.
So,
What are your pronouns?
she, her.
Great, another one. So actually, oddly, ironically, none of you have anything but the standard old pronouns, which we never needed because
Yeah,
everyone.
it's almost as if that's always been the case, you fucking prick. Yeah, it's almost as if when it comes to trans people, the whole issue is right-wingers and fucking Facebook dads getting the shit triggered out of them and getting their entire fucking world turned upside down because less than 0.5% of the population feels like they're in the wrong gender. Feels like they don't identify with the gender that they were born with. That's it. Yes. It's almost as if this is not that many people having a profound cataclysmic impact on the brains of fucking aging fucking boomer men who have nothing better to talk about. Yes.
On you're a woman or a man.
Yes. However, my best friend goes by gender neutral pronouns, and I am an 18-year-old high school
So
student.
what do you mean by that?
They go by they, them.
They them, but there's only one of them.
Yes.
Explain that.
They, them can refer
He
to.
did it again. He did it again. There's only one of them. Oh God, please. She said she's 18. She's quite young. Okay, come on. She's aware he's done it twice.
A singular person. Like,
It can't, can it?
I feel like if.
He did it twice. Never underestimate how people will so easily disregard reality for an ideological purpose. Fuck.
Somebody comes to my house and drops off a package at the door, I say, oh, they left the package there. I'm not like, oh, he left the package
wow,
there.
yes.
She left the package there. I say they left the package there. And that's only referring to one person. So I'm an.
Why is he? Why is he laughing? Is he realized? Is that oh yeah, oh God, I'm a fucking moron. It's actually it's actually the most normal thing in the world to use they for a singular. Huh.
18-year-old high school student, and many of my friends are trans or go by gender neutral pronouns.
Are they though? Yes. Are they? Because what's happening is quite interesting. Apparently, the number of people. No. The number of people. Well, I'm talking about a group of people. All the reports are suggesting in the last year there's been a dramatic collapse in the number of young people at colleges and universities identifying as trans, which would confirm to me that the thing was a fad, which got completely out of hand. And the people I actually felt sorry for were the people who are genuinely trans. In some cases, go through years of surgery because they feel they're born to the wrong body, the wrong sex, and so on. I feel like they have been lost in all this conversation. They've been made to feel ridiculous. They've been mocked.
Many of her friends. Well, yeah, typically queer people, like they coalesce for very obvious reasons. It's the same reason. It's the same reason a bunch of fucking Jews. It's the same reason just over half of the world's Jews kind of coalesced in the same area, you know? And the other half, a lot of them are in the same area as well, like Brooklyn and shit. Yeah, because safety, because people are fucking mental about them, like
and so on. And I feel badly for those people because actually a lot of this trans stuff, particularly with young people at colleges, has been a fad. And there was a school near me, near where I grew up in East Sussex in England, where 900 kids in one school were apparently trans.
Yes.
Oh, dude, off. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
I understand. However, I think it's
what's this? About
respect, and it's about garnering respect to the people who are like you're talking to a person, and if they want to be called they them by the pronouns,
and if I want to be
choose,
called a black lesbian,
okay, but that gets into a race conversation. That's not what we're talking about.
If I want to be called, let me think of something.
No, we're talking about they them.
Hang
We're
on.
talking about gender neutral pronouns. That was
if
the
I want to
debate
be
topic.
hot or hottest.
Okay, well, that would be your choice.
Would you respect that?
Yes, I would.
So you would call me that?
Yeah, because
Go on,
that is
then.
your pronouns.
Well, go on, then.
And so
Well, go on, then.
I feel
No,
like
you must call me that.
okay, but I'm referring to you.
Yes.
At the moment.
But address me in my preferred pronoun.
Another thing
Well,
is
hang on, you can't
that.
Sorry, you got.
Okay, so hotter.
Okay, thank you. This
Oh,
could really catch
language
on.
evolves. Language evolves over time.
You see how ridiculous that exchange was?
No.
It's preposterous. Sorry, lovely to
Don't
meet
fall
you.
for it. Don't fall for it.
Welcome back.
Hey, good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
So I think that like the fixation on this really shows your emotional connection.
Like, yeah, he he wasn't talking about pronouns. He was changing his name. Which actually, yes, you can do. Legally, you can change your name to whatever the fuck you want. So I don't know why he doesn't. Oh, God. There's only one of them. Also, my pronouns are hotter. Call me hot. That's not how that fucking works, Piers. That's not how that works. That's you changing your name, which actually people do all the fucking time.
To the idea of pronouns more than like
names are even more arbitrary than gender. Like what?
Other people's want to self-identify.
Hotter Morgan.
Because for me, if like
Hottest
I've had
Morgan.
people
Look at
come up
him.
to me, I work in a lot of queer spaces in nonprofit work, and I've had people who say they're they them. I misgender them on accident. I call them, you know, if they look very femme presenting, I'll call them she her, and they'll be like, actually, it's they them. In my mind, I'm like, okay, I messed up. They're not chastising me. They're not pissed at me. They're not gonna like victimize me afterwards.
Great.
And that's a majority of people. If there are people that do feel a sense of defensive,ness, it's because there's been a propaganda campaign.
I don't want to be transphobic, but isn't that kind of like what neopronouns have become? Yeah, but the thing with neopronouns is that literally no one cares about them. No one does neopronouns. Like in the real world, you're probably going to encounter like two people who you're friends with, and you're like, oh fuck, they actually use neopronouns. And then you just make a simple fucking choice. Either do what they want, find a compromise. 'Cause even most neopronoun users will still accept they them. Like they don't really give that much of a fuck. But if they don't, then just do it or don't be their friend. Easy. Done.
That's been pushed on these people specifically to target and victimize them. So my big thing is, if we want people to be less defensive and less emotional, why are we fixating so much on it? Why are the people that say they hate pronouns so much talking about pronouns every chance they get?
I just think when we get to 74 different ways of identifying your gender,
you
and
know-
one of them is an affinity with the stars, you should all accept it's got ridiculous. And my point of saying things like, I identify as a black lesbian or whatever, is simply to show that if you allow things to be limitless, it goes to ridiculous places. We've had, I mean, that Rachel Dolezal story. Do you remember that? Was the white woman pretending to be black, right? It was absolutely absurd. And she led this whole life as a fake person. It's all that kind
It's
of
in my book. Read it. It's a chapter. It's an entire chapter in my book.
stuff.
Yeah.
To me,
has-
it's fueled by a mindset that says anyone can, you know, they use the phrase express themselves, but actually, if your gender identity and you want people to use this, if we get to 74, 80, 100, right, it becomes, as I point out, completely pointless.
Yeah, but if you're someone who feels this like sense that you need to identify as hot and hottest, I'm just going to call you Piers. Like that's really how it is.
Exactly my point.
Yeah. So my thing is,
you've answered my. That's it.
No, exactly, and that's what you can do.
No, you agree.
No, but you're going on a show and
That's
you're
my
writing a
point.
book
It would be-
specifically highlighting
this
these people.
debate would
That's
be-
the difference.
If it's in this
I'm not
debate-
making a big stink saying this is the
The
degradation.
official numbers from the trans pronouns ministry. And why are you saying official, man? It's so fucking stupid. He's just a dad. You can't. This isn't the fucking 90s anymore. You can't just say official at the dinner table and no one can. And the kid has to fucking ask for internet permissions to go and check if what you're saying is true. And they have to sit there on Ask Jeeves waiting 8 minutes for it to fucking load up so they can find out if there is actually an official pronoun registry. You can't get away with that anymore. Stop. Council of Dads. Official.
Society.
in this
I'm
de-
saying that this is
I
somebody
get
who's
it.
saying something that I don't totally understand.
I get it.
But just because I don't understand it, I can still respect them.
I know,
I don't have to punch down and specifically
I know,
target
but
them out.
let me
That's
tell
the
you,
difference.
There are a million.
Punching down. I'm trying to say that these neogenders are below you. Wow. Heteronormative take.
Things more important in life. than
Sorry, I meant cis heteronormative. I'm behind. It's been a while.
Being concerned about how people call you.
Then don't focus on it, Pierce. Why are you writing a book about
I
it? If there's
don't.
millions of things
I
to
don't-
concern
it's
yourself
not me
with.
focusing
Why aren't you
on
talking
it.
about a genocide
I
happening
don't
in
believe-
Palestine?
I
Why aren't you
don't.
talking about
I
actual
literally-
victims that
I
are
li-
going
I
through
literally-
hardship?
I li-
You're writing a book about people who say astrogender, something I've never heard before, and I work in queer spaces.
Mate, time out. I literally do a show every night where I talk about
Again, there's nothing wrong with having a niche interest. You can have a niche interest, but Piers is acting like he thinks it's a problem with broader society. He is actually trying to contend that they have institutional power. So I don't You can just say, yeah, this is a special interest. So some people are really interested in the fucking anthropology of Vikings in fucking Orkney. They can do that if they want. But that's not what Piers is doing. He is actually like acting like it's a big, like it's a widespread societal issue.
Wars in Ukraine and Gaza and other major issues.
I'm just talking about this topic.
I'm talking about this because I think it was very interesting to me that Donald Trump got reelected. I was like, how has this happened? And I think it was partly immigration, it was partly the economy, and it was partly what the Democrats call the culture, and partly the culture wars, right? A lot of people.
The culture war, literally, like, you realize that the culture war, Republicans are still angry about Obama. Remember, the culture war that entailed people trying to prove that Obama was a Kenyan. Yeah, he's kind of admitting that like right wingers are the ones who make this an issue that would influence people's voting decisions. What's this? Is this the thing? Is this the clip?
Well, when one human being says to me, "Call me they them," I laugh. It's absurd. There's one of them.
And that shows that you're not.
What was that sentence he just used?
Well, when one human being
says, that's good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Well, we're fed up with this.
I think it really was a big focus on the economy, and I think you're right there. And I think Trump's version of populism spoke to a lot of people who have been disenfranchised.
But also, the culture war stuff, it did cut through.
It didn't, though.
Yes, it did.
That's not a big focus.
And I don't meet anybody on the woke left who will admit it. None of you admit it.
Because if you talk about people's economic conditions, they're not going to give a shit of who their neighbors are and what their pronouns identify as.
Right.
They just want to be able to afford meals for their kids
in a way,
and actually get health care.
Exactly. Hence why gender pronouns are pointless.
No, if a certain group of people feel more comfortable, that shouldn't be something we discriminate.
My final surrounding claim is that cancel culture is real and a serious threat to free speech.
Oh no!
How are you? Hey, Piers from Tyler.
I just want to see people I know. I want to see Z because it'll be about Trump, right? She'll bring it about Trump. Oh wait, is that Erudite? There she is.
Hello.
Piers, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
My name's Z.
Z.
Yeah.
Z.
Yes.
He doesn't know what that means. That's
yeah,
awkward.
I corrected him.
And you're sitting with each other.
Okay, so
That's not your pronoun. That's your name.
It's my name.
Okay.
My pronouns are she, her.
Oh, great.
So I think I tend to agree with you mostly on the cancel culture.
When someone tells me to use they them pronouns to refer to them, I tell them that they will never make me do that, no matter how hard they try. Yeah? There's one of them.
Stuff. In fact, like I was canceled back in April from this guy behind me.
Really?
Yeah, and so
Wow.
over some work stuff. Okay.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Wait, what? Oh shit, she called out Parker. Oh no. Parker's in the room.
Z.
Yeah.
Z.
Yes.
He doesn't know what that means.
That's
awkward.
I corrected him.
And you're sitting with each other.
Okay, so
That's not your pronoun. That's your name.
It's my name.
Okay.
My pronouns are she, her.
Oh, great.
So I think I tend to agree with you mostly on the cancel culture stuff.
Right.
In fact, like I was canceled back in April from this guy behind me.
Really?
Yeah, and so
Wow.
over some.
Oh no. Look, he's fuck. Get your gapes out, your Dean Soy face.
Over some work stuff, okay?
Are you serious?
Accountability.
What did he do to you?
Well, it was
I
about
knew this about him.
It was about microaggression. So, but
They said that she was being seriously, extremely microaggressive. God, what a fucking state, man. That was like, what was that, like fucking 5 hours of gaming carried through by that one issue. God damn it. What did he? Oh God, he said a whole thing about accountability, didn't he? That was Parker. Accountability is listening. And fuck, dude.
Point is that I think that the far left tend to do this to shrink the democratic
She's hyper microaggressing.
tent so that they don't have to take responsibility in winning elections.
Yeah, I agree.
And I do think that that's a very small portion of the far left.
Except
So
they're
I
now
can't-
winning. They're now winning power. This is what Mamdani.
Deconstructing means accountability. Accountability means listening and deconstructing, which means, fuck me, what a statement.
They are, right, which is a good thing.
If only Piers knew. Oh God, if only Piers knew, because that's the kind of Piers would have a field day with the accountability drama. Fuck.
Actually, it's a terrible thing.
Well, first of all, I don't think Mamdani is considered the far left. Parker and Mamdani are not in the same category to me,
Right.
because he believes in electoral power, right? But my point is that you still are stumping for Republicans as if Republicans.
I don't stump for anybody.
Well,
I don't.
come on, Piers.
I really don't.
I've watched your show a lot.
Then you will know I don't stump for anybody.
Okay, but you just made the defense in this argument with, I think, the guy before this last guy, where you said that you think Republicans are better on free speech than the woke
have been
left.
in the last few years, yes.
Right. Well, and I totally disagree with you. Can we use Charlie Kirk as an example?
Yes.
Do you think that Charlie Kirk stood for free speech?
Absolutely.
You do.
Oh my God.
Really? How? Tell me about that.
Charlie Kirk was the absolute personification of defending free speech.
Do you know what's so fucking funny about Charlie Kirk is like all these obituaries for him and people talking about him and his legacy. How much of it literally was he was willing to get into the arena and debate people who disagree with him? Like people can't even think of his best moments or talk about how good he was at owning the libs or whatever. It was literally just like the entire right wing just gave fucking Charlie Kirk a posthumous fucking participation trophy because they knew he was such a fucking like unimpressive interlocutor. Oh God, why do they? I feel like that was the keynote of their fucking glaze after he died. It was like he would debate people like what college students, yeah, and sometimes he would lose. Fuck. Yeah, they literally gave him a participation trophy, a little cookie.
Really?
Let me explain why.
Okay.
Charlie Kirk had strong views about a lot of things, many of which you probably don't agree with, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But Charlie Kirk, week after week, around America, would go onto university campuses knowing that most people there didn't agree with him, may have a preconceived view about him, maybe...
Okay, I think this is quite cute, yeah. The worst part was when they all screamed about how moderate he was. Yeah, you think Charlie Kirk was fascist? Wait till you see us now after he's dead. Yeah, some people really kind of let slip there, didn't they?
Thought he was a fascist and all the other things they called him. And he would sit there in his tent, sometimes outside as he was when he was appallingly assassinated. And he would say, prove me wrong. And people would line up and they'd come and have a debate like this. And he would listen to them respectfully. He'd challenge them.
No.
He'd argue with them.
That's not what happened.
Sorry, that's exactly what Charlie Kirk did.
Okay, as somebody that...
And for that, he got a bullet in the neck.
Okay, as somebody that runs the counter organization to Charlie Kirk's Turning Point, that is not the point of what Charlie Kirk was doing. Charlie Kirk did not decide to debate high-profile debaters, people like Destiny or people on the left that would actually give him a real debate. In fact, he even denied debating Dean Withers. I was literally with him when he did that, okay? So it's not like he was going in to have a real debate. He would go to these...
But he did have real debate.
No, he would go to these college
He
campuses.
literally got himself shot just so he could run away from Hassan Piker. Am I wrong?
To debate kids that were very much underprepared so that he could clip them and then raise money for Turning Point to go out there and then register voters, okay?
Then don't debate him.
I think that that's brilliant, okay? That's why I'm trying to replicate it. But you cannot say that he was there for free speech because that's not really free speech, especially when Charlie Kirk went and tried to denied us from going into his events just because we were Democrats. He canceled our permits even though we had permits that we paid for.
But you wouldn't argue...
That's not free speech.
But you wouldn't argue that he would regularly, and I mean almost on a daily basis, debate with people who he didn't agree with.
College students? Unprepared college students? You think that that's real debate?
Let me throw back at you something, which I'm interested in about your response to this.
Yeah.
He went to the Oxford Union in April, May this year.
Yeah, he did.
And he debated a guy during the appearance there who then became the president-elect of the Oxford Union, who, when Charlie Kirk was murdered, reacted by posting LOL, laughing out loud. And then he said, Charlie Kirk just got shot. Let's effing go! Exclamation mark!
Wow.
Exclamation mark!
Yeah,
he celebrated.
I cannot believe a Democratic legislator said that. Oh wait, sorry. It's just someone on social media. Huh? Okay. Okay. Never mind. Sorry. I thought we were getting some kind of parity in the analysis there. Imagine that.
The murder of Charlie Kirk, who was killed, let's be clear, because he had views that the person who killed him didn't agree with.
Yeah.
That person continued to want to be president-elect of a debating society. Do you agree that it's not a question of free speech or cancel culture, that he was incompatible with the position of being president of a debating society if you celebrate someone's murder for their speech?
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that's
100%.
good.
We can
Because
agree on that.
I
think it's
watched
disgusting.
the way a lot of them, the woke left, celebrated posting. And these were teachers, nurses, doctors, professors, posting videos of themselves, glorifying, celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk. It was one of the most disgusting things I have ever seen.
Do you think that they should be fired for that?
Yeah, absolutely. They should be fired for that.
Whoa.
How are you?
I'm Rob.
Nice to meet you, Rob.
So I think we are conflating accountability with cancel culture. I am the
Fuck. Dean Withers. Shit. Wait. Does Twitter still do that thing where you use an @ but you use it at the front of the tweet and it doesn't show in the feed? That's so fucking annoying. Why do they do that? Stop. I have to do it again. Fuck's sake. Okay, accountability. Let's go.
mayor of my hometown, and if I came on here, Los Gatos, California,
Okay.
if I came on here and said a bunch of bigoted things,
Yeah.
my voters would righteously vote me out. I would be out of a job.
Yes.
That's not cancel culture. That's just common sense and accountability.
Sure.
Can you tell me someone who has been permanently canceled?
No.
No. You're here today.
No,
That's- People like Bill Cosby don't get gigs because he's a pervert,
Yes.
right?
No. I can tell you somebody, I can tell you two people where there was a global effort to cancel us, right? And one was me, and it came after the Oprah Winfrey Wine-a-thon, where Meghan and Harry trashed my royal family and trashed the monarchy in the most despicable, disingenuous manner imaginable. 57,000 wokies bombarded the Ofcom television regulator. They weren't Good Morning Britain, the show I was doing, viewers. These were just woke left progressives who wanted me fired for disbelieving the claims about racism and mental health that were cited in that interview, which have never been substantiated and which I, to this day, do not believe. And I was told, you've got to apologize for this because the mob have come. You've got to apologize or lose your job. A job I was doing very successfully. Done it for 5 years, trebled the ratings. We just eclipsed the BBC as a #1 morning show. I was at the peak of my powers. But because I was exercising my right not to believe somebody, who actually it turned out was spewing a lot of bullshit, I had to leave my job because I wasn't going to apologize. Now, let me give you the subjunct to that, which is
Still salty about Meghan.
far worse. Sharon Osbourne, my longtime friend, was hosting a show here called The Talk on CBS. She'd done it for 10 years. She loved that job. She was brilliant at that job. She defended me when asked.
Okay. Is there anyone else that we like here? Is Parker going to talk to him about this? I want Parker to educate him on accountability and microaggressions and deconstructing. No, it's not. It's fuck all. Okay. Wow. Subscribe, you fucking assholes. I mean, sorry.